the middle of a hurricane right now.
Oh, yeah, I'd heard about that.
It doesn't seem to be too devastating, but nevertheless, good excuse to stay in. I'm just going to check before we really kick things off. I saw a few people in the DownUnder group saying that they couldn't get on. I just want to make sure they get the right link.
Cool. Good job, Robbie.
Has Kathleen managed to get on yet?
I don't think there was enough spots left, but if we can get the link out, she can go via YouTube.
Yeah, I think Sandra has posted it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm just having a look.
Guys, I have to put my little one to bed, so I might drop out so Kathleen can come in. If this is recorded, I can watch it in a day or so anyway. Sorry, Stuart.
No worries at all.
Cool.
Okay, see you guys.
Yeah.
Get up here. Okay.
Hang up button top right. See ya.
Okay, sweet. Bye.
Dropping like flies. Cool.
I'll send Kathleen a message so she can come in.
We can hear you, Astra. Can you hear? Can't hear us?
Oh, Nick just joined.
Just wait for Sandra to reply. Has anyone heard from Sandra yet to find out if they've managed to get a link out for?
She just said we're waiting for a link. I think Robbie might have a link somewhere. Robbie, can you post a link somewhere? Is it 10 now?
Yes. Come back in.
Or we could drop out and let Kathleen in. She probably wants to ask lots of questions.
You got YouTube?
Have we lost Sandra?
Robbie,
Yes.
did you get a link out for everyone else? I'm not sure if Robbie can actually even hear us.
Yeah, I don't know if you can either.
Sandra's keeping an eye on Robbie's YouTube page.
Check. Oh, Robbie can hear us. Robbie, on the top right, you should be able to unmute yourself. Unless you haven't got a mic plugged in.
Yep, I've got it. I've got the link. I'll just post it.
Yeah, let's give him.
Oh, a bit of... Where are we? Oh, yep, someone's just posted it.
Good, good, good. Okay, anyone that's not able to communicate through mics, etc., this is obviously your Hangout, and I'm really very up for going in any direction that you guys want. It's entirely up to you, the stuff that we cover. So if you can't speak due to having not a microphone, then just type stuff in, and then we'll pick some things out. I'm sure a lot of you will probably want to cover some of the same things. But I actually have a clear diary this morning, so I'm not in any rush whatsoever, and I'm prepared to sit here until we cover everything that you guys want to cover. You know, whilst you guys are thinking what you want to cover, I'll just update you on some things as well. So we're moving into the last 2 months of the year, and for those of you who are new to this, November and December, a lot of people often wonder if it's going to slow down leading up to Christmas. Well, this is my 6th year leading up to Christmas, and bar 1 year, which I think was 2010. No, it wasn't. 2010 was a huge year. 2009. It's been crazy. In fact, some of the busiest months. As a company, we had quite a slow October, probably slightly slower than we expected, but that was more to do with our resources being spread with getting set to launch. We've got the first gold curriculum and coaching starting on the 6th of November. So for those of you who are gold, you're going to get an email either today or tomorrow letting you know how you can register for that, and that's going to be very tactical, reasonably intense training, and it's going to be on Wednesday evenings. I won't go on too much about it because I appreciate not everyone is at gold that's on this call, but it's going to be a very tactical experience. And then for those of you, in fact it's only Theodora that came over from Australia, for those of you who didn't attend the gold seminar, we're actually having all of the footage edited and put onto USB drives, and we'll get them to you probably before the beginning of December. There is a lot of editing that has to take place on that, and next year that is going to become a really nice sort of physical product that's going to come with the gold program. So just to give you an idea on that front, the actual seminar itself was very strategy orientated, not so much tactical. So it wasn't like people sat there with laptops and, you know, learning marketing and specific tactics. It was much more about the overall strategy. The reason I tell you that is because for those of you who are really new and who are positioned at gold, you may find that going into the tactical stuff is quite overwhelming without having this whole sort of strategy overview. My view is that if you are already feeling really overwhelmed, I wouldn't register for the intake on the 6th of November, and I'd wait for the next one, which will be the beginning of January, sorry. The beginning of January will be another intake, and I would wait. And the reason being is because you'll be able to go through the seminar footage by the time that starts. Now, if you are finding that you're maybe struggling with knowing what things to be spending your time tactically, you've gone through the system, you've really come to understand your list building, everything else, and I would just say get registered and get straight into it. And you know, the strategy stuff will only help you when you get access to that. So that's on the gold front. In terms of which is going to be much more relevant for everyone listening in, we have a lot of new stuff coming. We're actually split testing stuff at the moment, so we've got some new marketing materials going out there. We're really liking the direction that we're taking. Very, very different to anything else out there. Bit more, dare I say, back to basics. It's slightly less big picture and more straight to the point, which is kind of how the original boot camp was. It was just that boot camp was getting old. We updated it with the new one. My personal feeling, and it has been right from the start, it's a good boot camp, but it's too much. There's just too much information, and it's not straight enough. It's not like direct enough to the point for particularly our target market, which is people outside of the industry. The best feedback that we've had has actually been from people in the industry. You know, how different it is, how in depth it is, but that's not really our market. because it's a much smaller market. The biggest market that we can take is the person out on the street that has no idea that they can actually transition from offline to online and be in business. It's obviously a ridiculous market in terms of its scope. So that boot camp is going to be much more appealing in that sense to that target audience. You'll also find that all of the testimonials are being updated. We've got everything basically is being freshened up. We've got a new video sales letter which I'll post to the community for feedback. It's something that you can't use yet. I've always steered away from video sales letters, which is basically where you have text on the screen and you read through, just purely because to me it's a little bit too internet marketing. So what we've done is we've created something that's a bit of a mixture. It starts with a video sales letter, then it's a face-to-camera video, and then there's a short whiteboard presentation. We've done a ton of research on over our statistics over the years, the types of people that are positioning in the product line, the type of people who are following through, sticking with the courses. Everything that we've designed this time round has a lot more research, I suppose, and a lot more statistics and data towards the type of people we want to attract to the company. If you can imagine, in any membership there's a churn, and what we've been trying to work out is the people that leave, why do they leave? What sort of thing were they looking for that we didn't offer? And then on the other side of the coin, we're looking at the people who are sticking by, what it is that they like about what we're doing, where they've come from, how they found us, some of the key triggers for getting started. We've really worked all of that data and information and insights into these new sales funnels. So one of the things that you'll find with us as a company is that we will never go down the route of trying to get maximum conversions on the front end. In other words, you're not going to see the hype, you're not going to see the false income claims or misleading income claims. You're not going to see really anything like that at all. In fact, a lot of our new material is based around the company, the education, the training, and the results that can give. But it's just something that's always the type of thing that I've always been more appealed towards. And it's almost I would say that it's more going to get people thinking about their current quality of life than how much money they're going to make this time in 3 months' time or this time in 6 months' time. Which resonates, I'm sure, with everybody here. It's much more about the bigger picture. Jay did an awesome presentation that you'll get access to at the Momentum Day, where he was really talking about how he's had to reinvent himself, I think 4 or 5 times since he started started working. His first job, second job, then as an internet entrepreneur, and how he's always had to hit the reset button. And he shares in that presentation a lot of the mistakes he's made, which is a lot of the same mistakes that I've made, more towards just being fulfilled and being satisfied with business. Because if there is one thing that I've learned amongst everything else over the years, there is nothing more important than enjoying and feeling good about what you're doing. And I'll tell you now, there's been, particularly in 2009, I felt really crap. And the reason I have is because I've been an internet marketer, just going out there promoting stuff for the sake of it, having a high conversion rate for the sake of it, being the next hot thing, the next launch. And it took about a year to catch up with me, but I'd made so much money that year, 7 figures that year as a marketer. You end up really starting to look in from the inside. And it's just not a nice place to be. And what Jay's done is did a really good, awesome presentation at Momentum Day about how we, between us and our existing students, have really learned a lot of lessons, and how we've implemented it into the system to really help people not hopefully have to make some of the mistakes that we've made. Because after all, I think everybody in our community is most passionate about not just our own quality of life, but also helping other people and help other people achieve what they're looking to achieve, and money is just a very small part of that. And I think that what you're going to find is this boot camp and the new stuff on the front end is really going to resonate not only with you, but obviously your potential prospects. So going back to what I was saying, is that this is how I'd kind of like to start the Hangout off the bat, really. What you'll probably find is that our front end, our application process, will never convert more, including the bootcamp, will never convert more for somebody in maybe their first 12 to 18 months of marketing than 3, maybe 4%. So for every 100 opt-ins you get, you may see around 3% conversion. Some of you might only see 1%, depending on your quality of traffic. Some of you might see 3 or 4%. Our more experienced marketers, Strom and Burr, are the best example. They're seeing over 10%, 15% conversion rates from lead to app, and that's really because they've created a brand. They've got very good at their target market. Now, the reason I start off explaining this is that one of the most important skills that you have to kind of learn, I suppose, in that first 12 to 18 month period is not just about generating leads, but it's also how you're pre-framing the leads that you're generating. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Let's say you are targeting, I use work from home mums all the time, so let's use another example like I used on the Elite call. Let's say, for example, you're targeting professionals who are burnt out, much like I was, working really long hours, just suddenly realizing that, hang on a minute, like I just cannot carry on working this way just for the sake of earning good money. It's just not possible. There are two ways you can look at it. That lead could click an ad, and then they could opt in and go through the training, resonate with it, and convert. That's going to be your 2, 3, 4% at a most conversion. However, the more skilled you are at honing in, where are these types of people spending time? What websites are they on? What pages do they like on Facebook? And then the more that you can tailor that pre-framing into our company, the more your conversions are going to be. So as an example, if they opt in on, let's say, a landing page that you built in simple lead capture, and it's, let's say it's about learning some new skill sets to retrain and get out of, the rat race. They opt in, then their experience starts there. It's like they've opted in because something really resonates with them. It's not just a general landing page, Entrepreneurs Unleashed or Digital Gold Rush. Immediately, something's resonating with them. Now, it's then up to you what you do with the rest of that journey, because the thing that I love about our system is that your only job, and people way overcomplicate this, and I'll tell you now, be very careful the advice that you take in this industry, and I'll tell you even from maybe even people inside our own community at times. And the reason I say that is that obviously people are always going to give their advice based on what they see as good advice, what's worked for them. But the reality is that I see so many people struggle for so much longer because they overcomplicate the process. Always remember that the result you're looking for is an application. It's not a elite, it's not a membership upsell, it's not a black, a platinum, a gold. That's what we do. That's what makes our system as powerful as it is. Your job is to get an application. So the way that I used to look at it, because remember I obviously started as a direct sales marketer for other people's products, the way I always used to look at it is, what is the result that I'm looking for, not the black sale, the big high ticket. What is the result that I'm looking for that's going to start that journey? It's a $20 sale. When you really believe in the community, when you really believe in your DownUnder group, when you really believe in who you are, where you're going, when you really believe in the product lines that you're promoting, seriously, how difficult is a $20 application? The reason I say that is we're getting rid of the free app, just so you know, and I'll elaborate more on that later if you want me to, but we are getting rid of the free app. It will be optional for you to turn it on. We've tested it for long enough, and it's very, very difficult for us to make this call because there are pros and cons with both, but the direction our company is going, we're not really going to even use the word free in anything. It's all going to be complimentary, if anything, when we're moving away from even the term free. So really it's going to start at the $20 and the $100 VIP application. So that's really your job. That's the result that you're looking for. If you start overcomplicating with trying to make your website amazing, trying to create some custom advanced sales funnel, and all of this stuff, unless you're really ready for that, chances are that you're really doing more harm than good. So this pre-framing that I'm talking about, if you keep it really simple, as an example, maybe you do a hangout with a couple of other members or a couple of your team members or a couple of people in the DownUnder group, which you invite your leads to, where you really just focus on the reasons why they're probably in your sales funnel. It's really important that you target a certain type of person because they have to resonate with you. There is no point in going out there and trying to sell everyone. If you try and sell everyone, you sell no one. And what you can start to do is you can start to put little customizations in, but really all you're ever trying to do is not 30-minute videos, 50-minute videos, 2-hour webinars. All you're really trying to do is improve that experience of that lead and the perspective that they have about the products and services that you're promoting. This isn't just SFM or DEA, this is relevant with any product that you're promoting. And the more relevant that you can make it to them, and the more that they can resonate with you, and the more likely they would be to reach out to you, email you, ask to catch up with you on Skype or whatever else, of course your conversions are going to go through the roof. And that's what I want you to really think about when this new material starts to come out, because it's going to resonate with some people and it's going to not resonate with others. It's not your typical make money online audience. And for that reason, you really want to be spending a lot of time thinking about, who do you really want to be attracting into your business? And, I said it on, I think it was on the Elite, and I updated my status on Facebook. The direction of where we're going as a company is so exciting for us because Jay and I have made a lot of mistakes, believe me, a lot of mistakes, and mainly towards how we feel about our businesses. We're very lucky that we've always been able to make a lot of money in this industry. But like I said, once you've made the money, that really, it's kind of, you get used to that, and that's not so fulfilling. When Jay and I first started working together, our biggest issue with both of our businesses were the customers in our company that we didn't want. Okay, so it wasn't a case of we need more customers. It wasn't a case of like the business isn't growing fast enough, all the normal stuff you hear. It was that, we're like dealing with people that frankly we don't even want. We both had application processes, yet we were still dealing with customers that will turn up at events and you just think, why are you even here? Like, you're looking for something that we can't even offer you. You're looking for some sort of magic bullet. We're a million miles away from that. What we're doing is working. Our Gold and Platinum event that we just had is by far the best event I've ever attended. I'm an introvert, and I don't mean that as in terms of I'm shy, but I'm not somebody that likes to be around lots of people for long periods of time. A lot of people think because we're building communities and we speak from stage that we're an extrovert, and Jay's exactly the same as me. Our ideal weekend is probably off walking in the mountains with like our partners or our family, little Sunday lunch in the pub. It's not some sort of crazy extrovert lifestyle. So when you're introvert, and I'm sure there's a mixture of people on this call, when you're introvert, what that means is that it's really important that you surround yourself by people that give you energy and not take your energy away. If you're extrovert, you give so much off that you kind of like block out any of the other draining effects. And sometimes I think I'm quite jealous of that fact. But I've come to learn that being introvert is something that you can be really proud of. You just got to learn how to deal with it. And the thing that both Jay and I have realised, and this is more important for those of you who are introvert, is that there is nothing more important in building a sustainable business than only surrounding yourself by people who give you positive energy. I'm 32 this week. I've not been able to settle down in a relationship because I found so many of my previous relationships have drawn energy from me. They've sucked my energy. Probably quite a difficult person to be with, to be honest with you. And the relationship I'm in right now is the first relationship that I've had where I've not had that kind of conflict. But it's the same in business. It's when you're in business, it's so important. And I can't even begin to tell you how important this is. That you absolutely only spend time in communities, in groups, in Skype sessions with people that every time you get off Skype with them, every time you help them, every time they help you, that you just feel a whole new boost of energy. I know if I'm feeling like I'm not motivated or I'm having a bad day, guess who I pick up the phone to? It's every time it's Jay. Every time. That's why we make such phenomenal business partners, because we bounce off of each other, we understand each other. Now, at the same time, what I will tell you is there'll be people in the DownUnder group that you relate to more than others. There'll be people in the community that you relate more than others. And really seek them out, really find those people and spend as much time as you can bouncing ideas off each other, working along with one another, and just brainstorming. Now, I rant on about this because this is one of the most important things that you can learn as a marketer, is that this isn't just about the people who are already in the community. This is also about the people that you're attracting. And the only way to attract people that are going to fit what we've been talking about is being 100% authentic to yourself. But going back to what I was saying before, if you try and sell everyone, you sell no one. The best marketers on social media are the ones that upset people. You know, and I'm not saying go out your way to upset people, but you have to have an opinion. You have to have a target market. You have to have, you have to cultivate your own audience. And building a list, it's like email marketing. People say is dying or it's getting harder. It probably is not as good as it has been in the past. But do you know what? A lot of it is because it's just turned into this mass, volume numbers game, where it's just get as many people on as you can. And I've often way overpaid. Well, it's not way overpaid, because at the end of the day, if you're making a freaking huge profit, how can you even say you're overpaying? But I've often paid a lot more per lead than internet marketers say you have to. I've got a campaign that I'm running at the moment. It's targeting Success Magazine. I'm paying about $3-4 a lead. Already it's converting, testing some new sales funnel stuff. It's already converting applications every couple of hours. And I know that other people in the industry would say, oh, I only pay 20 cents a lead or 40 cents a lead. But you know what? They're the ones that have the landing pages that say 3,141 16 cents in 48 hours. Learn the secret code or whatever it might be. Enter your email, and then you enter email, and there's some sort of scheme on the end of it. You've got to build this business. Direct sales is very different. High ticket direct sales is very different to your traditional affiliate marketing. It takes a lot more common sense. And every time you do something in your business, if it doesn't feel right in your gut, you have to change it. So if you don't like a certain landing page, or you don't like a certain bootcamp video, that's why we give you the ability to change them with the YouTube links. You have to take the time to be so proud of everything that you're putting out there. If you don't like the emails that you're sending, if you don't think they're going to resonate with the type of people that you're going for, if you don't like to say hey and you'd rather say hi, change it. You've got to build your business where you can't wait to go out there and present it to people that you can't wait to connect with. And yeah, you may pay $4, $5, $6, $8, $12 a lead when you get into paid advertising. But you know what? Like when they go and buy gold, platinums, and blacks, when eventually, hopefully, all of you will be at black at some time. That's when you can start to realise, do you know what? This business makes so much sense. It's like I did, Mark Ford. Let's use real examples. Mark Ford. In September did, I think, 4 black sales. I think he did 3 in September and 1 in the beginning of October. But it was 4 in like 4 weeks, basically, almost 1 a week. That's $8,000 a sale. $8,000. Now, he would have never done that if he wasn't just raw, complete belief. Mark's got more belief in our bloody company than we do. Like I'm telling you, like that guy is just like, his belief levels are just insane. And I think a lot of it is because he's been around the block so much. He's done MLM, he's done affiliate marketing, he's tried other biz ops, he's been in banners brokers, he's been in schemes that have made him money but he's felt crap with. So he's got so much belief around what we've got that he just can't help but go out there and do 4 black sales in 4 weeks. Now, this is why your mastermind group as an Australian mastermind group is so powerful, because in the areas that you don't maybe have so much belief in, or if you would do things slightly differently, or if you think that our company is lacking in certain areas, that's your duty as a community to fix that for your organization, for the people around. Every affiliate program I've been in, every company I've been in, there's things I haven't liked. So my job has always been to find the best that I can find. Like, one of the companies I was with, it was called Your Net Biz, one of the companies I was with, I was marketing, I made multiple 7 figures in this company, and every single other week, once or twice a month probably, I'd have the same conversation with the owner of the company, and it'd be like, there are so many areas that are really bad about this company right now, and like I just want to give like feedback, and I just want to like try and help improve. and he was a yes man. He was like, "You're right, Stuart. You know, I was his top affiliate. He was obviously going to tell me what I wanted to hear." But the end result was that I had to just walk away because it was all lip service. Nothing was ever updated. I mean, nothing was ever updated. It was just stayed completely stagnant, which is one of the reasons I started SFM in the first place. And the reason I started SFM in the first place was to fix all of the areas that I wasn't happy with in this company, so I could just carry on selling that product line and not rather than feel bad about it, I could fix all the areas that I didn't. Now, hopefully, with us, Jay and I believe we're very authentic guys. We do say it as it is, but there will still be areas in our community, in our company, where we're lacking. We're still a very new organisation from that perspective. End of 2010 for SFM. And Jay and I's partnership only started a year ago. You know, our official legal partnership was a year ago. So we're still very, very new. And as a result of that, there are a lot of areas still that we know that we want to work on. But that's your opportunity and I'm talking as a collective group here, because you are by far the Down Under group, by far the best group that we have from a perspective of connecting, working together, being consistent, turning up, showing up, and I would love at some point for us to be able to bring some of you guys out to share with the rest of the company what you do, how you do it. I don't think it's ready for that just yet, but I want to plant that seed because probably approaching Christmas, I'd like to do it before Christmas. I'd love to bring 4, 5, 6 of you out on a company-wide webinar and just really share what you're doing with each other and how you're supporting each other. And I think, you know, part of it's forced by necessity. Like, one of the great reasons that you guys have got what you've got is because Jeffrey and Robbie and you know, you guys got it started from the beginning. But at the same time, I think it was through, quite honestly, the big time difference and a smaller group over that way, the necessity to have it. And that's a very prime example of how something that might have been lacking in our company has turned into something so amazing, something that's so good, that's something you can't put a price on. Relationships that you will build from this Down Under group over the next few years. You can't even put a price on that. You really can't, whether it be partnership. So what I want to do is, before I hand over to questions, I want to give you some more guidance or advice or some of my views on how you can leverage what you already have, because I think that's one of the best ways to really build a business, is to always be aware of what you have and how you can leverage it. And I want to just give you some ideas on that. So let's talk about internet marketing. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm absolutely not passionate about internet marketing. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is, like, internet marketing, in my opinion, is the tactical stuff. It's the placing ads, it's the generating leads, it's the you could argue building the landing pages, you know, making your blog look the way that you want it to look, having the banners up and everything else. That's not my passion. My passion is the bigger picture of what we do with the education that we provide and everything else. And I think a lot of the courses out there, in fact, I'm going to say I think nearly all the courses out there in internet marketing, they're basically setting you up with a mindset that you are an internet marketer. And I want to try and, like, have you think of it a little bit different and think that, you know, internet marketing is just a very small piece of what you're doing. In fact, internet marketing isn't where the money is made. The money is in the products and services. Internet marketing, like marketing offline, is what you have to do in order to build a thriving business. The reason I share that with you is because one of the reasons I was able to be the top affiliate in every direct sales company that I've been in. I'm not blowing smoke up my ass, but I've gone into companies that have had 2-3 year starts before I've got involved, and within 3 to 6 months I've been top of the sales boards. And I'll tell you some secrets if you want them. If you guys want some secrets?
Definitely.
Okay.
Bring on the secrets.
Bring it on.
Good. So it isn't that I'm the best tactical lead generating machine. In fact, I'm actually pretty terrible at it. I don't pay attention to my cost per lead because I'm not that passionate about it. And honestly, I know I can go and spend probably $100 a lead and still make money from it, because I just know that I believe so much in what I'm doing that I can just turn it into more money because of that belief. So the key to being successful in this new economy, in this industry, is about being a strategic digital entrepreneur and not being a tactical internet marketer. So it's so important that you are very aware, very familiar with what you enjoy doing and what you don't enjoy doing, and you become extremely resourceful. So what I mean by that is I don't like writing. Okay, I just do not like writing. Yet, authority sites and blogging, not so much when you get to the level where you've got affiliates, you've got big organisations, but I would argue that in your first year or 2 years, it's one of the most important things that you can do is create an authority site. When you type in your name in Google, is your website at the top of Google, particularly in your country. I know it can vary from country to country. I found out recently that I'm like number 4 in America, so I was a bit upset about that. But in the UK, I'm like the top 3. So that's really important. But if I take the opinion that, oh right, the tactic of blogging is really important. I've got to not only write a blog, I've then got to post it to my blog, and then I've got to syndicate it, and then I've got to do this, and then I've got to do that. But I hate it, but I know I've got to do it. But that's how I feel every morning. Good impression, yeah? It's like, where do I start? I don't know what to do next, blah, blah, blah. The right approach to take is, I'm going to spend enough time and energy learning the strategy behind blogging, the tactics behind blogging, but then I'm going to be a lot smarter and I'm going to be resourceful. And let me give you an example of what you could do. You could have a full-time outsourcer for $300 per month, and my favourite has always been Filipinos. I've outsourced in India, and there's some incredibly smart people there, but it's always like, yes, boss. Can you do this? Yes, boss. Okay, I need this. Here's the full, yes, boss. And then you get it back, and it's like, that's not what I asked for. So I found that their culture is a little bit like, yes. Maybe it's a communication barrier, I don't know. Whereas what I love about the Filipinos that I've worked with is the loyalty. I've had, at one time, 3 full-time Filipinos back in 08, 09 working for me. And 2 of them were offered by somebody who was competing, a right shark, who was competing, who went to offer them $200 more, so $500 per month to go and work for him. That's almost double. In the Philippines, that's massive money. And they said no, like, we work for Stuart. They're just insanely loyal. And I've heard other people who've had very, very similar experiences. But getting to the point of what I'm making is that between 2 of you, that would be like $150 a month, plus you could share the training of the Philippines between you. $150 a month, you've got a full-time person. Now let's start to think about that as an example. You hate writing as an example. What are we going to do then? So first of all, we're going to outsource the writing. We're not going to do it. We're going to outsource it. Digital writers in the back office. We're going to give a full description of what type of article we're looking for, the type of keywords that we're looking for. We're going to place an order. Then what we're going to do is we're going to then learn through the SFM, through going through the Getting Started modules, through going on Guy and Elon's webinar, we're going to learn a strategy and a tactic. We're going to learn what the next step is to do with that article, as an example. So we publish it to the blog, then we syndicate it through Facebook Post Planner, as an example. Every day we join new groups on Facebook or whatever. And the next thing is, that's step 2. The next thing is we bookmark it. The next step is we post it to the DownUnder group, and we get people creating social proof and commenting on each other's blog posts or whatever. And we create a mini system for that one thing that we know that we should be doing. Now imagine this, you order a blog post, this is what I would recommend you do, is you go out and find the type of material that you want to replicate or duplicate or emulate, or you're the one that has to come out with the material, come up with the ideas for the material. But once you've done that, which will take you 20 minutes an evening, you then order your blog. The blog post comes back the next day, for argument's sake. You then have created a video which explains exactly what that process is. Now remember this, the reason that people don't outsource is because they think that the people they're outsourcing have to know why they're doing what they're doing. And they don't need to know why at all. All they need to know is how. Okay? How do I publish it to your blog post? What's the login details? How do I hyperlink the links that you've given me to your landing page? How do I put the signature in? They only need to know how, not why. Okay, so it's a 2-minute video, 5-minute video, 20-minute video for a full system. This is step one. Get your blog ordered. Then in the video, what I want you to do now, outsourcer, is I would like you to log into my WordPress website. I'd like you to post it to my WordPress website. I'd like you to bookmark it with these bookmarking services. I'd like you to create, for example, a PowerPoint presentation to match the article and send it back over to me so I can do a video voiceover, as an example. I'd then like you to syndicate it through Facebook Post Planner. I'd then like you to post it to the DownUnder group so that as a group we can build up some social proof. Boom, system's done. Now, how different is that? How more scalable is that than being a super duper internet marketer who's a blogging machine? If the money was in being a technical genius, all these tactical people would be millionaires. If it was all about the technical stuff, all these website coders, all the people that work for us would be millionaires, all of our tech team. They're not strategy based. And what I want to achieve, and this is more of a Digital Experts Academy conversation, but the vision that we have with Digital Experts Academy isn't to create internet marketers, it's to create digital entrepreneurs. And if I look at, you know, people like John Davey, who's consistently been earning a minimum of $10,000 a month as a complete side income with SFN. I think his highest month is maybe $40,000 or $50,000. He's a offline entrepreneur who doesn't really know anything about the system, nothing. All he did is said, he came to one of our events because he was invited by Thomas Power, who founded eCademy.com, basically some big internet guru, and rocked up at our event, liked what he saw. He was like, I want to sign up, I want a position at Black. Let's get going. Saw the vision of it, signed up, registered. He then was resourceful enough to have his kids, who are at uni, go through the getting started steps. And not only did he then ask them to go out and you know, do their stuff, their blogging, their digital blogs, and everything else. He then also had, I think it's just his son actually. I'm getting confused. He's got one kid, I think, one son. He then had some outsourcers and a team that are built around them who his son was outsourcing to, because John's a true entrepreneur. He understands that, like, the money is in the strategy, the money is in productivity, the money is in, you know, getting as much possibly as you can done in a day without doing it yourself. So then think of it now from this perspective. Imagine that your blogs are all you've got to do is 5 nights a week, go out there and find some ideas for some really cool blog posts. Then all you need to do is send it across to your shared outsourcer who you've partnered with someone in the community, who you've both spent some time training and setting up these tactical training videos. And then the result of it is that all you really do when you get home from work is come into the community, spending time with people that you like, reading blog posts that you know are going to be relevant because it's other community members, contributing to your community by commenting, sharing ideas, sharing feedback, and then going to bed. And then getting up the next day, prepared with your article, outsourcing that process again. How much happier are you going to be? And this is assuming you don't like writing. I know loads of you will love writing, so do what you love. But then you can then free up so much of your time and your capacity to do the things that you love. I built my business on overpaying for my leads because I'm not the best tactical marketer, but then compensating for that by shooting completely passionate videos. You know, so my leads that actually opened my emails were like, this guy really believes in what he's doing. There's just an energy there. And the reason I was able to do that is because I did love what I was doing. I wasn't spending all of this time doing all of these you know, things that I don't want to be doing. And the biggest reason I believe people fail online is because the course is out there. Okay, Digital Experts Academy probably is the only organization out there that I know that has the intention of creating digital entrepreneurs and not internet marketers. So hopefully that's been useful. I wanted to share this with you because you have something very special as a group and you need to leverage that. And it's not just about outsourcing to the Philippines. Leverage each other, okay? If one of you is really good at video, do a really freaking good testimonial for your teammate. So when somebody goes on their website, it's like, wow, like Sandra must be this most amazing person just watching that testimonial that Astra shot for her, you know? And all of a sudden, you're spending so much of your time in the areas that you want to be spending it, in the community, with one another, helping one another, sharing resources, being resourceful with each other. If you've got kids, nephews, local college kids, you know, there is so much talent out there that it is unreal. My whole team are more talented than I am. Like seriously, like if I take Jason, he's got so much more talent in specific areas of his life. Great designer, understanding of programming, understand of marketing, but he's an employee. Okay, what separates us? Well, I'm a very strategy-orientated person. People say to me all the time, like, did you start when you first built SFM back office? Like, how much of it did you do yourself? And I was like, I didn't do any of it. I wouldn't know how to do one line of code. Okay, so hopefully that is resonating with you guys, and I'd love to sort of learn from you or hear back from you how you can start to really take your relationship with one another to another whole new level in supporting each other, etc. So I hope that's been interesting. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. I've been talking already like I always do for a long time. And feel free to fire across any questions that you have from anyone.
Been awesome. It's been awesome, Stuart. It's going to build on what we're doing already, I think, with our, because we've got the DownUnder Marketing website, and we've got links to our Facebook fan page and Google Plus pages. We've set up a Pinster account as well, and we're going to sort of integrate them so that when people post their blogs, they can post it on our website, which will link back to their own website and so forth. That's what we've got going at the moment, but we just need to build on it a bit more, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys are definitely doing a phenomenal job on that front. Martin always uses the DownUnder Group as an example whenever he's speaking to struggling, lonely members, trying to encourage them to actually, frankly, get off their backsides and create something similar. So that's awesome to hear. Is there anything that anybody wants to, any challenges that people are having, any specific problems people want to address that they're having in their businesses right now? Because I will probably bet my right arm I can obliterate any issues that you're having with some form of guidance.
I think the only person who was having issues was Gil, Gil Balfour, but I think that was just because Gil wasn't getting support at home, and once Gil joined our DownUnder group and realised he had support with like-minded people, he started to really fire now, so that's really good. And Gil's mindset changed so much, and he was so uplifted with support from the group that he even scored one of the 6 lead roles in from an audition the other day, so he's stoked.
That's awesome.
So we won't hear from him.
Yeah, the support at home thing is a real challenge, and it's something I have to deal with. I was just lucky I was young enough not to have committed to anything too serious, that I was able to sort of be a bit of a lone ranger, I suppose. But the truth, over the years, I've seen a lot of different circumstances. Often partners, family, will naturally come around once they start to see the results. But until that, they'll often resent this dream of making money on the internet. Whether it's because they think it's a scam or not, it's often just the fact that people are spending, their partners are spending so much time. And the advice, there's really 2 key pieces of advice that I'll give, which one will be relevant for everyone anyway, and 2 will be relevant for the people that haven't got supportive people at home. So the feedback I've had over the years isn't to do what I've done and just get out of the relationship. So I would never recommend that. That's just kind of been my way. But the people that I've seen who have persevered and come through the other end and become successful is that the thing that they told me that they did is just stop talking about it. They've spoken with their partner and said, look, I am absolutely going to do this with or without your support. These are the times that I'm going to be working on the business, and if you don't like it, you know, I appreciate that, but let's just not talk about it. Let me just get on with my thing, see where it goes, and we'll go from there. Because if you start talking about it, the chances are, if they're not behind you, they're just going to give negativity, they're just going to throw insults, they're just going to make you feel bad about what you're doing, and it ends up being a losing battle anyway. And I've seen people who have quit the industry or quit their dreams in general because of that lack of support, and it's often because they get defensive and they keep trying to defend what they're doing. So that's one thing that I'll say. The other thing that I'll say, which I think is going to be relevant for anyone, particularly people in relationships, is that we all do what we do to improve our quality of life. I've never met anybody that I've worked with that hasn't been doing this to improve their quality of life. And usually the driving factor isn't themselves. Usually it's their wife or the vision of their future wife, which is kind of what I've had to go off, or it's because of their kids, or it's because of their elderly parents or whatever. And it's normally to improve the quality of life of the people that mean most to them. My parents separated when I was 12, and my mum, you know, struggled on her own business to get me, to keep me in college, or at least start college, and to be able to survive, really, to be able to pay the mortgage. And I never went without, and everything else. So my original drive was my mum. That was actually my original drive at 26 years old. I could see that she was struggling in business again. She'd had a really good few years, and then it started to get tougher. And there's been twice now that I've been able to financially put her business back into the green when it's been down in the red. From a combination of investing and a combination of spending time on the marketing infrastructure of the company. And it's amazing to be able to do that. But the point that I'm going to make is that when you know your very reason is to improve quality of life for your partner, the thing that you have to remember as entrepreneurs, and particularly online where it's so easy to work all the time, it's equally important that you don't you don't forget is the word. So you don't forget the very reason why you're doing what you're doing, to the point where you go the other way and you're spending no time with them. You're giving them no mental capacity. You're not being in the zone when you're actually spending time together. You're thinking about your business. You're on your phone. You know, you're constantly you know, in that building phase, because that's only going to cause more problems for you, and it's not a sustainable way to build a business when you've got that kind of pressure. So this is the advice I'll give you. This is called living in the grey zone, and living in the grey zone is when you're never present in the task or the moment. So you're building your business, but you're feeling guilty that you spent no time with your daughter, or you're spending time with your daughter, but you're thinking about the fact that you've had a crappy week with the business and you're feeling guilty because you haven't done that much with it. Or you're out with your wife, or you're out with your husband, and you're checking your phone, and you know they're having a conversation with you, and you're not really listening. And this is called living in the grey zone. And when you live in the grey zone, it's just the most unsustainable way to be building something that's got any substance and any sustainability. The way that you have to get around that, and this is so effective, is you have to be organised. And what I mean by that is you've got to look at your schedule. Okay, you have to have date night. You have to have agreed times that you're going to work on the business. You have to have specific days just for the kids where no mobile phones are going to come out. You have to be in a position where when you have date night, you even leave your phone at home. And what ends up happening is that after a while, and I mean few weeks into it, you get so in the moment, you get so in the present that your productivity goes through the roof. When you go out with your partner and you have taken them out for a nice meal and you're completely into them, and you're not thinking about your business because you know tomorrow night is business night, or because you know Saturday you're going to be spending the whole day building your business because that's how you've structured your life, suddenly your relationship improves because you're actually giving them what they deserve, and your business improves because you don't feel bad on Saturday that you're working all day Saturday because you went out on Friday, or you don't feel bad that you're neglecting your kids because you actually spent the time with them in that present moment, and you were present, and the mobile wasn't out, and you weren't checking your emails. You know, I lived in the grey zone for about a year, 18 months, and I could afford to be in the grey zone. Here's why. I wasn't in a relationship that I was that committed to. I was 26 years old. I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have that much to lose, so I could get away with it. You know, you can get away with it for 18 months. You can't get away with that when you're married with kids. You can't get away with that when you've got mortgages and bills to pay. My philosophy was always, if I lose everything, I'll go and live with my mum again. You know, that wasn't that big a deal. So I was able to build businesses in the grey zone, but I wasn't happy, and I always felt tired, and I never woke up with, like, energy. I always woke up feeling lethargic. So the way that you counteract it, and the way the antidote to immediately fix this is to be organised, and be really specific with the times that you're working on your business, be really specific with the time you're spending with your kids, be really specific with the time that you're spending with one another. And then as you start to build out your schedule, guess what? Something magic happens. Your business gets more and more successful, and then suddenly you're working less in your job, or you've quit your job. I can't tell you how amazing it is that time that suddenly your part-time business becomes your full-time business. And all of a sudden you've become so productive that you can build that business in 3 hours a day. And suddenly you've got, like, all of this spare time that you realise, shit, I need loads of money to spend to go and do amazing things with all of this new time that I've got. And it's like a snowball effect. You know, the best way for me to put this into perspective is that of all of the most successful students I've had over the years, they've not been the most tactical internet marketers, they've not been the most technical, they've not been the smartest, they've been the most sustainable. And they've been sustainable because they enjoy what they do, they surround themselves with like-minded people, they outsource or leverage or be resourceful with the things that they don't like, and they're in the zone. They're not in the grey zone, they're in the zone. So all of that we're talking about now is so much more important than some Facebook campaign. You know, because at the end of the day, like I said, I can go and way overspend on my Facebook campaign, but I'm so good at what I do, the few things that I do, because you can't not be good at something you love. Even if it takes a bit of practice, you can't not be good at something that you love. But you can very easily not be good at something that you don't love. You can also be very good at something that you don't love, but that's just stupid. You know, why spend time honing in how to be an amazing writer if you don't enjoy writing? Why spend loads of time being, you know, why not spend loads of time being really good at video if you love doing video, because you're using it as an excuse that you're spending all your time doing all the other stuff that you don't like? So, you know, having a schedule and being in the moment, being in the zone is probably more important than anything else that you'll ever learn. And you know, the way that you learn this stuff is your iPhone or your smartphone. And what you do is you go onto the Apple Store and you listen to audio every single day. And you listen to audio on how to be productive. You listen on audio how to be good in business in general. You don't listen to podcasts from internet marketing, you know, wannabe, you know, Richard Branson. You listen to Richard Branson. And you take your aspirations from real entrepreneurs, and you only follow people that you have so much belief in, not because you think you should be following them, because they are the #1 guy in traffic generation. If they're the #1 guy in traffic generation, but they don't give you any energy, or they don't inspire you, then don't waste your time. Find people that inspire you. And then, you know, I listen to audio every single night without fail. Sometimes I listen to you know, if I was to show you my iPhone now, every week I'm downloading apps. I don't know if you'll even be able to see this, but like this is one that I've just downloaded, which is a Bob Proctor one. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but so, you know, it's like, I think it was like £12, and it's just loading up now. It's a Supermind one.
The Supermind one, yeah.
And it's got self-esteem, inner confidence. It's got productivity. It's got all of these sorts of things. And every single night, I don't watch TV. I go to bed. Do you know as well? Something else is that when it comes to sleep, even if you're a night owl, which is what I am, something I've had to persevere with is getting to bed early. And the reason being is that our bodies, I can't remember what it's called, somebody might be able to help me out here, but there's your natural like body clock. And it's designed to work alongside daylight. Okay, so if you're working till 3 in the morning and you're getting up, which won't be many people in here because I know a lot of you will be, you know, mums and dads and careers and everything else, and you're getting up, which is what I used to do, getting up at 11 in the morning because you worked till God knows what hour. It's not a very good way of building a business. You're actually far better doing it the other way around, getting to bed early, listening to audio, getting to sleep before 11, 12, midnight. I try to be asleep before midnight, and getting up earlier and then starting your day. Even if you're not a morning person, it will take a little bit of time to adapt. But what you'll tend to find is that by doing it that way and going to bed relaxed, listening to audio, getting yourself inspired, you're going to get up anyway, and you're just going to go and take action. So that's something that I really recommend that you do. The other thing that I would suggest is that you get into the habit of, and I know this is probably completely off topic, but I can't tell you how important your nutrition is. And I know, Sandra, you're probably very much on this with all your new ventures and everything. But one of the mistakes that I made, particularly when I was building my business, was a poor diet. And it was because I was rushing around. I was like grabbing food from the garage, microwave meals. It is the quickest way to ruin your energy, and you need a lot of energy to build your business. Drink loads of water, drink loads of good foods, possibly keep off the carbs late at night because you'll probably feel really sluggish in the morning. You know, it's really, really important that you focus on that stuff. And that might be completely off topic, but it's just things that I've had to learn myself, because my excuse was always that I'll have a microwave meal because I'm building my business, I'm building my empire. But guess what? Like, after 6 months of eating microwave meals, you know, I used to just stick spaghetti carbonara in the microwave every day. Like, I must have lived off that stuff for months. It's not great. It really isn't great. If you're suffering with energy. The other thing with energy is that don't underestimate hydration. Like, I've said this all the time on the webinars because it's so important. Get up in the morning, don't drink tea and coffee, drink water. You know, start your day with at least half a litre of water, and the difference that will make to the way that you feel. Give it 5 days. 5 days of half a litre the minute you get up in the morning. Hold off the coffee for a couple of hours. Get yourself rehydrated. A bit of exercise if you can. A bit of aloe gel, by the sounds of it, from Astra, and you're good to go. So anyway, hopefully that grey zone stuff is, you know, something that you can apply. Get yourself a schedule. If you're not building this with your significant other, involve them only from a perspective of giving them the courtesy that you're organising the time with them, the kids, and do not slip. Do not create excuses not to follow through, is what I'm saying. You know, if you say you're going to do kids on Saturday with no phone, do it. You know, don't think, you know, whilst they're on the ice skating rink, I'll just check my phone. Like, don't do it, you know, because it's like drinking and driving. It's like, I've always had this philosophy, like, I'll drink or I'll drive. Like, I'm not going to have like 1 or 2 drinks. I'm just going to either drive or I'm just going to not drink. I'm not going to drink, I'm going to drive, or I'm going to drink and I won't drive. Whereas so many people will have like those 2-3 drinks. And for me, it's kind of like, you know, in life in general, I think you just kind of got to commit to something. And, you know, if I commit to getting drunk, I get drunk. But it's, you know, it's one of those things, you know, it's important to get those things. Have you guys ever heard me talk about creating habits?
I have.
Yeah. Anybody else?
No.
Yeah.
I'll go over it really, really quickly because it's something it's super important with this, like creating schedules and following through with your marketing and your schedules and everything else. So my advice to you is, if you want to change your life super fast, let's say you want to be in a completely different place this time next year. The most crucial of all of what I've discussed is learning to create good habits. And there's a system that I've learned and used to create good habits that is just, it's just faultless. It's just so powerful. Now, my first disclaimer is don't try and create too many habits at once. My advice would be create one personal and one business each 5 to 6 weeks. So 2 habits each 5 to 6 weeks, one personal, one business. Start reasonably small. So if you aren't exercising enough, as an example, start with a 20-minute brisk walk in the morning with your dog if you have a dog. Or start with a 35-minute gym session before you go to the office or whatever. You know, start reasonably small. Business-wise, maybe you want to, you know, implement this blogging system where you outsource it and, you know, get everything set up, and you want to make sure that you blog every day, 7 days a week, you know, without fail. First of all, you write down what you're going to achieve. What's the habit you're going to create? I'm going to exercise for 20 minutes in the morning, or I'm going to drink a half a litre of water in the morning. I'm going to floss my teeth in the evening, whatever it might be. In your personal life, I'm going to blog. I'm going to blog daily. Okay. So the first thing you've got to do is just be clear on what's involved with creating that habit. You know, what route are you going to take on that walk? What system are you going to use for your blogging? You know, where are you going to outsource it? Who are you going to use to distribute it for you, or are you going to do it yourself? There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing it yourself if that's what you choose to do. And then become really clear on it and be right. Okay, I'm going to stick to this, because how many of you started with your blogs and started doing them 5 times a day and now are doing it once a week? You know, or once every few days. You know, I don't even need an answer. I know there'll be people that have declined in terms of their productivity on that commitment. So what you need to do is you need to be clear on what the end result is that you're looking for, and then this is where it gets interesting. So let's use the personal one as an example, because you know, creating personal good habits is probably even more important than business good habits, because if you don't have your personal life in order, then what chance have you got of building a business? So you know, you commit to, let's say, taking the dog for a 20-minute brisk walk every morning. Now, at first, willpower alone will be enough to get you to do it. You make the commitment on the Monday. Tuesday, you get up, you take the dog out. Wednesday, you get up, you take the dog out. Thursday, you get up, you take the dog out. Friday, you get up, you take the dog out. That's willpower. But I believe we all have a similar level of willpower. Some will say, you know, some people have more willpower than others. I think we're all given roughly the same amount of willpower, and willpower doesn't last long. It's like a can of Sprite. You know, there's only so much of it, and it's going to run out. So what you need to do is you need to be aware of what the next stage is, and it's like fighting gravity, and it's what I like to call the excuse phase. And the excuse phase normally kicks in between 5 and 15 days. And what that is when maybe it's raining a little bit outside, and you get up in the morning and say, oh, George, it's raining, I'll probably skip walking the dog today. Well, no, get a bloody umbrella. You know, it's like, don't let the excuses kick in. Or, you know, I had a bit of a later night last night, or, you know, my stomach's feeling a little bit full, you know, I'll do it tomorrow. The minute those excuses start kicking in, which are completely ridiculous excuses to not commit to just a bloody 20-minute walk, guess what's going to happen? You, like most people go through life, New Year's resolutions, everything else, you're not going to follow through, and all of a sudden you're justifying with some other ridiculous reason why you didn't follow through. So what you need to do is you need to be aware of that excuse phase, and this is why it's so powerful. So when you get up in the morning and there's a bit of drizzle, and you say, oh, I'm not going to bother, it's raining, you say, hang on a minute, I'm in the excuse phase, I'm being stupid, I'm committed to creating this habit, I'm going to get the umbrella, or I'm going to get wet, or I'll put my hood up and I'm going to do it. And guess what? By just doing that very thing, when you get back, your self-esteem will go up, because it's kind of like, you know, I didn't let myself slack, I feel really good for that. And it's only a little bit, but it's a bit of good feeling. Then the next day, you'll probably just get up and do it. And then the next day, you'll probably get up and do it. And then there'll be another excuse that kicks in. You know, I've got to get up 10 minutes earlier to be able to do the walk tomorrow. I'll probably skip it because, you know, I would like the full 7 hours sleep tonight, or 6 hours, or 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever. And then you have to say, hang on a minute, no, I'm going to follow through, even if it means me getting half an hour less sleep or 10 minutes less sleep. I'm going to do it. I'm going to set my alarm a little bit earlier. I'm going to do it. And you follow through. And guess what? Your self-esteem goes up a little bit more because you're following through, and people around you start noticing. It's like, you know, who is this person that never used to follow through that's all of a sudden following through? And people start noticing, and then you feel even better. And then this is where it gets really, really good, is after about 20 to 30 days, so about a month, it becomes effortless. And the reason it becomes effortless is because you've formed that habit. So the alarm goes off, you just get up without even thinking about it, you go down the stairs, you're looking forward to the walk, you know that it makes you feel better, you go out, you do the walk, you come back. Now I'll tell you now that 80% of people don't get through the excuse phase. And it's like this, it's like, you know, it's like defying gravity when you first start to create a new habit. It's like climbing Mount Everest. It's like launching a rocket. You know, launching a rocket takes 85% of its fuel just to get up to, you know, the first few thousand feet, and then it becomes it escapes velocity. And when you escape velocity, it becomes effortless. Then it gets to space, and it's just floating, and there's like no requirement for any energy at all to be expelled. And that's the same with a habit. You escape velocity, and you get into this position where it becomes so effortless. Now the mistake that I made, to be honest with you, is I tried to form too many habits. I'm like one of these things, I'm writing all this down, all these areas of my life that I'm not happy with. I have them now. You know, there's still so many areas of my life that I need to improve. But I'm just a lot more sensible about it now, and I prioritize what is important. I put myself first, then business second. You know, so if I'm feeling tired or lethargic, or, you know, I'm not feeling good about myself, or my self-esteem's a little bit lower, I work on that first, and then the byproduct of that is that the business will thrive. And, you know, one of the things that is so important is getting good at improving your self-esteem, because most people out there in the world are here to like knock your self-esteem, whether it even be people that you love. It's just kind of like the way of the world. And one thing that I learned is that, you know, improving your self-esteem never comes from external sources. What car you drive, not sustainable. Your girlfriend, not sustainable. Your kids, not sustainable. Your self-esteem has to come within. And if there is one thing that I can tell you will raise your self-esteem and maintain that raised self-esteem, where you feel good about yourself, you like who you are, I'll tell you this, it's following through. It's making commitments and following through. And if you commit to the walk and you follow through, your self-esteem will go up. If you commit to doing a marketing schedule and you follow through, it'll go up. If you commit to date night and you follow through, your self-esteem will go up. And you then don't require any external sources, or you don't look for external sources to raise that. And all of these little things are things that you can incorporate in your life over the next 12 months, just what we've discussed on this Hangout. Some of it you may be really good at already, some of it you may not. Some of you may be super fit already, some of you may not. Some of you may be super productive already, some of you not. But I'll guarantee you this, there'll be some things that we've touched on right now that you're dealing with. You're in the grey zone at certain areas, or you know that you need to give a bit more attention to yourself. And just by incorporating these things, creating these good habits, it becomes a lot more effortless. And the next thing you know is that your business is going from strength to strength, and it becomes effortless. You know, the reason that Jay and I have built the businesses we've built, the affiliate commissions that we've earned over the years, is because both of us agree that when we've been at our best, it's when it's been effortless. Doing things that we want to be doing, spending time with the people we want to be spending time with, being good people outside of business as well as inside of business, giving back outside of business, inside of business, and then it just starts to snowball. Like I said, it's if you're struggling with business, if business is feeling really difficult or hard, and don't mistake hard with hard work. When I say hard, I'm talking about like you don't look forward to it. You can't be bothered to do it. Then there's something wrong. And it doesn't mean that you're in the wrong community or you're wrong around the wrong people. It's something with you that you need to look at. You need to look at the mistakes that you're making, where you're going wrong. Because there are good and bad days for everyone. I have them. It's been a while, to be fair, touch wood. But you know, we all have them, you know, and hopefully for you they'll get less and less. But you know, the reality is that this is not difficult to enjoy. You've heard the expression before, like, you know, success is a journey, not a destination. You need to start enjoying it now. You know, the byproduct will be much of money, will be a lot quicker and a lot more effortless if you're enjoying the journey. And you have to work on that. Don't just think, I'm saying just enjoy the journey. You have to work on that. You know, it doesn't just happen. You don't just enjoy building a business. You don't just enjoy sitting in front of a computer all day. It doesn't just happen. You have to work on it. It took me 2 years to really love my business. And the biggest thing that I learned when it came to loving my business was being authentic to me and not being someone that I thought I had to be to build the business. You know, it's people struggle with, they think they have to be gurus, or they think they have to be something that they're not. And if you try and be something that you're not, you'll hate your business. You know, you'll just hate it. And it took me 2 years to learn that. Like, I started to love my business when every single day I said what I wanted to say. I was the person I wanted to be. I did what I wanted to do. I worked with the people that I wanted to work with, to the point where I started getting, when I was doing direct sales and I used to speak with applications myself. When I was promoting other products, I used to sort of have my own application in place. And certain applications I would speak to myself. Martin was even working for me back then. And there would be so many times that I'd be on the phone and somebody would be like, they would just irritate me. And I'd just be like, look, to be honest with you, you're not really the type of person I'm looking to work with. See you later, bye. And I probably wasn't quite that blunt, but you know, it was like to the point where I knew that this person was wrong for me. Like, I didn't want to have to coach them. I didn't want to have to mentor them. I didn't want to have to spend time with them. I didn't want to hang out at the bar with them. That's the culture we were creating at SFM. Jay and I's vision is like, let's only have customers that we can go to the bar with. Like, you know, it's why have something as good as what we've got and then compromise by letting people in that, you know, just don't deserve, frankly, to be in, you know? And that's the same with your business. And posture, particularly if you're getting involved with a sales process, is more important than anything. If you try and convince people, you're never going to sell anything. Oh, it's the best thing ever, it's this, it's that. You know, if you try and convince people, it's never going to work. You know, just listen to what people are looking to achieve and then give intelligent ideas to how what you offer is the solution to their problems. You know, if people are looking for something easy, tell them it's not easy and then see how they react. You know, I'm looking to I used to get it all the time. Hi Stuart, yeah, so I'm looking to make 20 grand a month within about 90 days. Right. Okay, what do you want me to do about it? Like, are you that unrealistic? Like I was saying, you know, I have no idea any of your experiences. I will tell you now that this isn't easy. You know, this is something that you're going to have to put a lot of time, energy, and effort into. The results are incredibly rewarding. The lifestyle is incredibly rewarding. But why are you putting a monetary figure on a 90-day period? That's just naive. And then people react two ways. They'll be like, oh, well, you know, I thought that, you know, this was a money-making system, you know, whatever. And then you can write them off. Or they'll turn around and they'll be like, okay, fair enough. You know, do you know what? I am prepared to put in the hard work. I am prepared to put in the effort. And then you can take the conversation to the next level. And of course, I know many of you, the whole reason we built the system is because people aren't good on the phone. A lot of people aren't good on the phone. But posture is really important in the way that you write, the way that you communicate via email, the way that you speak to people. It's really, really important that you keep focused on being yourself, being authentic to yourself, and only attracting people that you would really choose to work with. And again, I'm going to just reiterate what I'm saying here. Now, I know everyone's positioned at different levels within DEA, but the great thing is that the future is there regardless. You know, if your aspiration is to be a black DEA member, you will get there. You know, you will get there at some point. And the beauty of it is that when you've got like $8,000 commissions or $2,000, $4,000 commissions, you only need to connect with a few really good people a month. You know, it's not like selling 10,000 ebooks a month to make 10 grand, you know. I love what we do because it's not a numbers game. I love our community because we have absolutely no vision of being the biggest community on the internet. We have a vision of being the highest quality. Stuart, do you want 100,000 members? No, I don't. No, I do not. That's why we have $20,000 products, so we don't need that. That's why people like Lee and Tammy and Mark, who had, Mark had 28 grand month last month. Lee and Tammy having $50,000 months. If you ask them how many sales they're doing, it's minimal. It's not big. That might sound like an insane amount of money, 50 grand in a month, and they would have probably spent 10,000 on advertising, but 40 grand a month. 40 grand a month might sound like an insane amount of money, but when you actually look at it from their perspective, it's like a few sales. It's just a few good people, few sales. It's not like Lee and Tammy, Mark Ford, a better example. Mark Ford does like a few applications a week, 28 grand last month. He's already done a black this month. A black and a platinum, I believe. And it's just a few sales. And elite, let's talk about elite. Like I am like so disconnected from the real world, and sometimes I have to give myself a kick up the arse. But I know that like a couple of thousand a month can change people's lives. Like 2,000-3,000, it's like three elites. 3 elites can change people's lives. Like can make such a difference on your business. If you believe in your Down Under group, if you believe in the community, the group that you're cultivating, 3 elites is not hard. And I know that might sound contradicting to the fact that I say it's not easy, it is hard work. The hard work is working on yourself. That's the hardest part. The actual business side of it is I don't even look. We have our accounts and everything else, but I'll be honest with you, I don't even know how much money right now our net profits are each month. It's hundreds of thousands, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, but I don't even think about it. It's like it's effort. Making money is not as hard as people think it is. People want it before they've spent enough time on themselves. If you worked as hard, I think it's Jim Rohn even says it far better than I'd ever remember, but along the lines of, if people worked as hard on themselves as they did on their businesses, they'd all be rich, and not just rich financially, why is it people are prepared to do things in a job that they're not prepared to do in their own business? Let me give you an example. If I said to you guys, hey guys, look, I love the Down Under group, you're all awesome. I've decided that for those of you who get 10 leads a day, every day, I'm going to give you 5 grand a month, just for generating the leads into the company. I'm going to give you 5 grand a month, 10 grand. Let's up the stakes, 10 grand a month, but I want you to get 10 leads a day, every day. Guess what? All of you would go out and get 10 leads a day. All of you. Why is it people are prepared to do something for other people that they won't do for themselves? Because the byproduct of 10 leads a day every day in 90 days' time would be 10 grand a month. 10 quality leads every day would be 10 grand a month. But people don't get 10 leads a day. But that slight shift in mindset of like, I'll give you 10 grand a month for getting 10 leads a day. All of a sudden, you don't go to bed. All of a sudden, you get up and blog. All of a sudden, those 10 leads don't seem to be so much of an issue. So you've got to get committed to that, your lead generation. You've got to get committed to, building the business. And the easiest way, if you want to do it an easy way, is find out what you enjoy doing. Don't spend time learning all the tactics. Don't spend time spreading yourself too thin. Don't spend time with people that drain your energy. I have very few people in my personal life. I really do. Like I said before, I'm an introvert. I find a lot of people quite draining. Outside of my family, I have a handful of friends. Who I choose to spend my time with outside of my family are very few people. It's not because I'm arrogant. It's not because I think I'm better than other people. It's simply that I don't want them draining my energy. It's as simple as that. It's very, very easy to let people in that, or let thoughts in that can be, pretty disruptive, let's say, to building your business. And this is the other thing, is like, we all know about law of attraction and thoughts become things and everything else. You need to find out when you're having like negative thoughts, because I have them. There's always times, like I said, we all have bad days. You need to find what inspires you when you're feeling like that, when you're feeling shitty or you're feeling negative, or and it's different for everyone. Okay, so for me at first it used to be exercise. It used to be go out on the bike, go and exercise, clear my head. That stopped working, so I had to find something else. And I probably had 3 or 4 things. Nowadays, do you know what? We've got in Gmail Docs, we've got a string of email testimonials, ones that we wouldn't use in the public, but real life-changing emails to me, conversations, things that I've said that have really changed people's perspective, and they've shot me an email, and I just save them. And I put them in a document. If I'm feeling down or not motivated, I just go in my doc and I read them, and I'm like, why the hell am I being negative? Like, look at all of these lives I've been able to change. Look at all of these people I've been able to help. And then I just read through a few of them. I had not even all of them, and suddenly, like, I'm back, I'm re-motivated, re-inspired, and I remember that I'm not even doing this for myself in the first place. Stop being selfish enough to be miserable and negative, and go and change some more lives. So the point of what I'm making is it's changing all the time, and the only way that you'll ever, discover what's going to help you get back into that motivated, re-energized frame of mind is discovery. It's like working it out for yourself. No one's going to tell you. All right. So anything else that anybody wants to discuss? I hope this has all been informative for you.
Been good. It's been great, but there's a couple of questions from a few people. Marie Santos was using the Simple Lead Capture the other day, and she wanted us to suggest to you, could somebody please suggest something to Stuart Ross for me, to have a facility within Simple Lead Capture to create customizable thank you pages where you can design a simple blank page from scratch and upload a wallpaper, video, text, and logo. Thanks, guys.
Yes, that feature is actually there, but it probably means that we haven't actually demonstrated it properly. So there is a way that you can do a custom thank you page with a video and a link, or some text. But what I'll do is I will. Is it not in that? No, don't know. You're right. It isn't actually on that longer training video. Yeah, that's a good point, and I'll make a note of that because I will incorporate a video in the back office. I'll whack it up in the. Do you know what? I think one thing I'm not sure is if you can add a clickable link. That's the only thing. So that might need to be added. I know you can add text and a video, but I'm not sure if you can put a clickable link. So I'll check that, and then I will fire across an update to you guys in your DownUnder group.
That would be fantastic.
Cool.
That would be really, really great. And a lot of the guys are sort of asking that they would love some training around how to look after new people properly. I think that more comes from me. Like, I've talked to a lot of guys in the group, members in the SFM and stuff. When I came in, my mentor was actually John Davey, and I was never able to get a hold of him. So I had to go searching through SFM community for other mentors, and I came across Steve and Mark and quite a few other ones. And I think a lot of the members, they can't get a hold of their mentors, and I think that's where this is coming from, with some of our members wanting to know how they look after their new people that are coming in.
Okay, so there's two things that I will say on that front. Is there is always room for groups and our community and company to improve upon that, but at the same time, it's really important to, and this is why Jay, has everyone been on Jay's orientation call yet?
I have. It was great.
Okay. So one of the things that Jay's incorporated, I don't know, from maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago now, is talking about the importance of actually being proactive yourself to go out and meet people and get support, because a lot of people that will say they feel like they're not getting support, they're actually not actually being proactive either, and I've been in this industry long enough to know that people aren't just going to go out and proactively help people. It's like there's enough people coming to interact and be proactive to get help that we know that the help is there, but at the same time, what we hadn't been doing, which we're fortunately now doing on the orientation call, is setting that expectation. So the first bit of advice I'd give you when you've got team members coming in is tell them, set that expectation that you're going to, for your first 3 months, you need to be seriously proactive, because we're all building our own businesses here, all of us, including me. And I'm experienced enough to say this now, that I've never had a student that's come into our community that's been proactive for several weeks at interacting and meeting people that hasn't formed relationships and felt support. Now, I'm sure if I surveyed everyone in the community, there'd be tons of feedback in areas that, you know, this was challenging or this could be improved, and that's why we know that we're always improving. We're always trying to improve the company. But at the same time, people do have to come into this industry, this community, our company, with that mentality of being proactive to get it. Now, I'll tell you that when I got started online, this is almost going to sound sneaky, but the way that I used to get support is that I didn't go into the conversation, how do I do this, or how do I do that, or I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. I would always go into conversations with people in terms of, you know, I'm here, you know, these are some areas that I'm working on in my business right now, I'd be more than willing to help, particularly when you've been in for a couple of months. You know, if let's give you an example. If someone went to Lee and Tammy and said, "Can you share with me your Facebook strategies?" Chances are I'd be like, you know what, I get this question all the time, or like, you know, I've persevered and learned the tactics. But if someone went to Lee and Tammy and said, you know, really inspired by what you guys have achieved, you know, someone that I really look up to, keeping an eye on what you're doing. I hope you don't mind, I've just subscribed to your list so I can keep an eye on what you're up to. Thanks for being an inspiration. Boom. Guess what? They're gonna respond. And then you start to create a relationship. And that might sound sneaky at first, but you might find that you can actually help people before they help you. You know, one thing that I did for a guy called Damien Benko is I took phone calls for him for 3 weeks whilst he was on a cruise with his wife and his kids, and I just said, look, you know, divert your phone to me. We're in the same company. You know that I'm, you know, obviously smart enough to be able to help out with any questions, etc. If it's your team, feel free to say that I'm going to cover. And he was like blown away. He couldn't wait. He was like, he sent out an email that I wasn't even expecting that went to everyone saying, oh my God, OMG, Stuart Ross has just agreed to like help my team whilst I'm away. Don't bombard him, don't overdo it, but he's there. And like this was before I was doing 7 figures. I was doing pretty well online, but I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't, you know, necessarily the master of anything at that time. I was just kind of like doing my thing. And the result of that is that Damien and I became like best buddies, and he gave me so much. And do you know what he really gave me was contacts more than specific advice, to the point now I've never even thought of it from this way, but that relationship is how I've got 3 of our tech teams that work full-time for us today, which I'd have never had if it hadn't been that relationship with Damien. And those contacts would have never come my way if I hadn't done those phone calls for that 3 weeks. So, you know, a lot of it is mindset. It's like people, if you come across, let's think about it in the real world, if you come across needy, you're just going to be a thorn in someone's side. You're going to be a pain in the arse. You know, I can't stress enough, like, sometimes you do need to be, if you want to call it sneaky or smart, I don't know, but sometimes you have to be a little bit more tactful in forming relationships and just expecting. And I think if you can be a mentor and give that kind of advice and that kind of guidance, the difference, and believe me, Jay is now incorporating this kind of stuff in the orientation call, but if you can be able to do that, whether it's your team members or any other team members, be blunt with people. Like, I used to do it all the time in SFM community when we first launched it. Publicly, I'd say to people, John, you're coming across really needy. Like, the reason that no one's responded to your comments here is because you've literally come in here, you know, expecting people to basically build your business for you. You know, and that's not why people are here. People are here to build their own businesses. And I used to say that. I'd just be really blunt about it, because I was doing a lot more of my own lead generation then. I was putting a lot more of the people into the company myself. So I would take that approach. But there are lots of things that we're working on right now. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail, but the whole back office system is being redeveloped for 2014. It won't be till March, April 2014. And one of the huge improvements is the community. the ability to communicate, connect, but it's so far off, like 4 or 5 months away, that I don't really want to set that expectation just yet.
That's cool. Simple Track. I got really excited because I was on your founders call when you talked about the Simple Track program. So I was letting everybody else know about it before too long. But I've had a couple of people ask me how they promote it. Like, are there going to be banners in the back office and
yeah?
That
So
sort of thing?
that's good. I did an update on was it the Elite call? And I think Justin sent out an email, so I don't know exactly what people are aware of on this call. It's probably different people have seen different things. But so the deal with Simple Track is that we put it into beta testing mode, and the result of having it in beta test mode was some really good ideas. So what we decided to do is, rather than let me actually even go back a step further. So all of the tools and technologies, and this is really important for you guys to understand this, where the direction of the company and where we're going. So everything that we're building and developing is designed to be simple rather than advanced. And what I mean by that is that we are deliberately leaving out features, advanced things out of a lot of the stuff that we're building deliberately, because when you give people an overwhelming amount of statistics, an overwhelming amount of different features, and people end up doing nothing. You know, and as a community of where we're building digital entrepreneurs and not internet marketers, for us it's more important that things are good enough but really, really simple, that people are going to use them, than it being the most advanced tool in the marketplace. I'll tell you now, I log into Google Analytics and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just like looking at it, I'm just like, you know, what on earth is going on here? Like, all these graphs and numbers, and I just look at it, I'm just like, you know what, I'm never going to log in again. So like everything that we're building is designed to be super simple. So what we actually got is we got some ideas back, particularly from Guy Ferdman, to not only improve it, but to even simplify it even more. So as a result of that, the guys are doing some programming on it, because we were going to launch the affiliate opportunity on the 13th of October, and I know a Google Chrome notification went out on the 13th of October, but I think it was only out for till the following morning, Eastern time, so it was only up for a little while. Yeah, Simple Track will be highly likely fully ready to go on all levels by the next Founders Call. But I would say hold off on doing anything with that right now, because we have got updates and some improvements happening with it from some really good ideas that we're having. But going back to what I was saying before, is it's really important to understand what I'm saying here about, you know, creating things to be simple and effective rather than be the most advanced and necessarily have every feature of every other system. And the reason being is that is another reason why what we've learned over the years, why so many people fail, because overwhelm. You know, and it's like, I know I should be doing tracking, but analytics is so complicated, or it's so difficult to get the key metrics that I'm looking for, that I'm not even going to bother doing it, and then they end up doing no tracking at all. I've got a lot of friends in this industry, and I tell you now, there's two things that I look for aspiration. One is them as a person, in terms of, do I believe that they love their business, and do I believe that they not just have good morals, but do I believe that they, you know, get up every morning and just do their thing without even thinking about it, like, because they just believe so much when they're doing this. It's very hard to find people like that, really hard. I know people that earn tons and tons of money, but they don't fall in that category. The other thing that I look for, because it's what inspires me, is, you know, are they a bit technically retarded? Like, are they a bit like, you know, I don't. Okay, so let's take two entrepreneurs as an example. Let's say we've got Richard Branson, and as an entrepreneur, and let's say the entrepreneur, I can't remember his name now. That is, in fact, he heads up a division with Virgin Atlantic, the Virgin Space division, and he's also the entrepreneur behind the new electric cars in the west coast of America. Tesla. I'll Google it quickly. He's the CEO of Tesla, the electric vehicles. Is it Michael Tesla? No, it's not. Maybe he's not the CEO. Maybe he's the president or founder. Let's have a look. I want to find it because you may be able to find videos. I don't know where I can sort of demonstrate my point. What is his name? I'll find a video or something and I'll post it. But Elon Musk, that's it. Yeah, Elon, E-L-O-N-M-U-S-K. Okay. So let me give you an example of why I wouldn't follow someone like Elon. So first of all, I think his vision, and I think that his the things that he's created, the electric Tesla cars, like the traveling to space and other stuff that he's working on. He was the founder of PayPal. He's the guy behind PayPal. I think phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But at the same time, he's like the most technical, the most computer engineering, degrees all left, right, and centre. You know, higher level education, all of these stuff that anybody would admire. But I can't really relate to that personally because I really don't feel inspired by sitting in front of a screen doing technical stuff. I'm not a computer engineer. I think that I share the fact that I respect people with big visions and everything else, but he's a different type of entrepreneur. And I say I won't follow him. I'll watch the stuff and learn from it, but I don't really get my aspiration from it. Someone like Richard Branson, on the other hand, is someone that's absolutely nailed the skill of having people in places that are far more experienced and educated than him. Most of his success has come down to his ability to put people in the right places and having huge visions. He isn't technical. He like even admits himself that he's like crap with email and all of that stuff. And I find that more relatable. So it's really good from that perspective. In fact, I'm just going to post a video now that I found to the DownUnder group. I've spilled tea on my laptop, so none of my keys are working. It's a bloody nightmare. Yeah, I'll post the video. I've just got it in front of me now. It's a Google Hangout. It's an hour long. Both really inspirational entrepreneurs, but with very, very different ways of doing it. And I think it's really important you've got to follow people that you relate to. It's so important. Like you've got to be inspired, and you've got to be, you know, like I said before, I've never, and Jay's the same. That's the coincidence. We've never really followed the internet gurus. Like we've never really been. The only one that I've ever followed really is Evan Pagan. I enjoy watching Frank Kern's videos, but I've never actually. In fact, I bought Mass Control a few years ago, but I've never done any of his personal masterminds. I've never done any of his events. Whereas Evan, I've done loads of his events. I've bought nearly all of his products. And the reason that I chose to follow Evan is because he built his company remotely, and you know, most people with 8-figure businesses like we have, you know, tend to have offices, staff based in offices, and that kind of structuring. And Evan's got like all of his staff are remote based. He does all of his recruitment based on skill set, not location. And that was the business that I wanted. So following him has been incredibly important for me and our journey to try and do our best to get it right the first time round. But it's been, you know, having staff all around the world is very challenging. But it would be more challenging without having the guidance and advice from someone that's been there. And that's the same thing, you know, you've got to be really clear on what type of business do you want. An example is like top tier. Like, do you want to sell 3 blacks a month? Or do you want to sell, you know, 500 ebooks and, you know, a couple of, you know, there's no right or wrong. That's the point of what I'm making. There is no right or wrong. You've got to decide on, you know, do you want to be involved with people? Or do you want to not be involved with people? See, when I started in business, my view was I don't want to be involved with people. That was my genuine view. I would rather have a business that is on autopilot, but I promise you it was the most unfulfilling thing that I've ever done. That's when I was like I've said before, like in 2010, end of 2009, I was like so depressed. I was like making all this money, had nothing in common with the friends that I used to hang around with. I was in a pretty shitty relationship. My life wasn't all that great. You know, it was great to be selling all of these products online, but I wasn't inspired at all. And it wasn't until I had that vision to start working with people that I wanted to work with, creating communities, and working alongside like-minded people that I got that bounce back. And it's something that I hadn't had. Even when I started building my online business, I wasn't bouncing out of bed. I was excited. When I first started my career as an estate agent at 18 years old, I was bouncing out of bed because it was new to me. I was excited. I respected at that time, the senior management. I wanted what they had. That they had a good lifestyle. They had six-figure incomes. So I was bouncing out of bed. But then I got there, I got the six-figure income, I got to senior director level, and then I was like, crap, this is not what I want at all. And that's when I had to reinvent myself. But when I started building my business, because I was doing it alongside my job, and I was just selling products, I was just doing it for the money. And then I realised, after a couple of years, that actually, I need to be doing something that's going to give me a lot more passion and purpose. And the reason I say this is you've got to be really clear on what do you want out of your business. Just because what I want to sell top tier, and because I don't want the biggest community in the world, that we have $20,000 mentorship programs, and just because I prefer to sell high-priced products doesn't necessarily mean that you would do. And you may be more passionate about selling other product lines, and just apply what we're discussing here and what you're learning in the community to the type of business that you want to have and the end result that you want to have. I'll post another video. So I've got, is that 2 videos I've now got to post? Or was that 3?
Yep.
2 plus simple lead capture. There's another video I'll post in the community where there's a little intro that I did at one of our platinum events, our most recent platinum event, and what I say is basically, again, another lesson that I learned. In hindsight, it would be nice to have known this growing up, but I didn't. But what I love so much about creating a personal brand, and what I love so much about creating a following, building a list, communicating with customers, is that what I see that this industry does, having a loyal following, people that buy your products and services, is that how many industries can you focus on being who you want to be rather than what you want to be. So let me rephrase it how I said it in the presentation. So growing up as a kid, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this, I want to be that. And it's kind of like, it's almost like you grow up with a vision of what you're going to be. And as a kid, I never knew what I wanted to be. I was like one of the only ones in my family across 14 cousins. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to be. I don't know. And I certainly didn't say I wanted to be an estate agent. Why I find this so rewarding, having a following, having a community, being able to hang out with you guys on this Google Hangout, I could do it all day, I love it, is because I'm living a life where I'm being who I want to be, not being something, not being a what. I don't class myself as an internet marketer. I'm just Stuart Ross. I'm Stuart Ross. I sell stuff. I sell stuff online. And the Platinum is my most favorite of all of our courses and programs because that's really the message behind it. It's like, don't worry so much about what you are. Be more worried about who you are and create a following. And, we didn't have that opportunity 25 years ago. It was kind of like, get a career and decide what you're going to be. I know, again, hopefully this doesn't sound arrogant, but I could start up another business tomorrow. And let's say I started up a business because I'm super passionate about productivity, how to be really productive in business, because that's something that I'm really enjoying and whatever. I could create a whole product series, some Google Hangouts and some webinars, and I could go and sell it. And I bet you that over half my customers would come from SFM, immediately. And they'll be like, I want to be more productive. If Stuart says being productive is important, I'm going to buy his stuff. And it's because of who I am and not what I am, if that makes sense. The same as if I decided to go in, health and fitness. I could build another health and fitness business next year. And again, how am I going to build that business? Well, I'm going to build it by being completely authentic with who I am and sharing my experiences and my views of health and fitness. What foods to eat, where, you know, and bodybuilders won't follow me. You know, but who probably will follow me is business people, because they're like, do you know what, you know, I'm not satisfied with my current health, and I respect Stuart's built a successful business, and you know, I want to get that area of my life improved. And guess what? I would sell a boatload of those products. Hopefully that makes sense. And the point that I'm making is that this is why this is such an incredible industry, because like I want to within about the next 5 to 6 years spend my time speaking at schools. And possibly colleges, where I can just help kids to think more about, like, you know, who they're going to be rather than what they're going to be. And I think that, you know, there are very, very few businesses and industries that you can put that into context. Cool. So there's another video that I've got to remember to let you guys preview.
Cool.
It's getting late, I think, for you guys, isn't it?
Well, it's not.
midnight.
midnight in New Zealand, 9:30 in Queensland, 10:30 in New South Wales. Yeah, but we're all pretty late people, aren't we?
Indeed.
Yeah. Tends to be the way, especially when you first start building. I'm absolutely a night owl, but it's a lot easier to adjust your lifestyle when this is your full-time thing. So now I tend to sort of try and get to bed quite early, but it's not always easy.
I do have one question, Stuart. I mean, I've said it to a lot of new members myself, and I mean, not that I actually focus on building my SFM business, because I'm passionate about something else. So I've used the skills that I've been learning off you guys to build another business, because that's how I thought I was going to work it from the beginning anyway. I came to you to learn what I needed to do to build the business that I had that was going nowhere. But in the beginning, for people building an SFM business, and they asked me questions about it, and I refer to some of your earlier videos that I came across when I first joined the SFM, where you talk a lot about leveraging off of you and other people in the SFM. A lot of people ask me what I mean when I say that. They're like, what do you mean by leverage?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I suppose in that way, what we're talking about is that if you think of what we've got here, it's more like a franchise. It's, you know, it's a legitimate business opportunity, and the leverage is in so many areas, because what you're doing is you're not only leveraging our tools and technology, you're able to leverage our videos, our footage, our seminars, our trainings, our coaches, our webinars. So let me explain, I suppose, let me answer it in what I think might be the right way to answer it, and then if I haven't cleared anything up, then let me know. The way that I recommend someone get started in this industry is naturally affiliate marketing. And the reason being is, we were talking earlier on the webinar about your job in terms of making money with SFM is to get the applications. Like, outside of that, it's really, you're not going to have that big an impact. Of course, you might be able to encourage people to move up through the product lines, but to be honest, we're pretty good at that. 60% of people go elite. At the moment, we're selling golds every day. Like, they're flying out because we've got the new curriculum in place now. We've got, you know, it's a $5,000 sale. They're selling every day, basically. So the point I'm making is you don't really need to worry about all of that stuff, and the leverage of that is insane. Like, it is insane, because if I said to anybody, like, this is how you build because there is nobody has earned 7 figures in a year yet with SFM, but mark my words, it will happen next year. Like people like Lee and Tammy, Strom and Burr, they've got their existing skill sets. They've got they've been around long enough to have sort of got through all the challenges. They will earn over $1 million next year as an affiliate of SFM. So the leverage is the fact that all you've really got to do is learn affiliate marketing on the front end, where you're wholeheartedly putting all of your energy, effort, and passion into that result of getting an application. Now, to get that result is different for everybody. Like Lee and Tammy do YouTube and PPV and retargeting. Strom and Burr have managed to create a custom Google AdWords funnel that they're about to launch soon. You've got people like John Davey, who again leveraged YouTube and Facebook ads. And the point is that as an affiliate, normally what you're doing is selling an ebook or a course, or you're selling a physical product, and you're getting paid, frankly, a very small amount of money for that sale. You know, if you sell, let's take network marketing as an example. Amazing business model, but the reality is it takes years to build. It does take years to build. You need to recruit often a team the size of a small country, you know, to make 50 grand a month, 20 grand a month, or whatever. 10 grand a month you might be able to do inside of a year to 18 months, but you are talking about being a real leader. Like, the only people that ever build successful network marketing programs are really good leaders. They cultivate and build teams of really good people. They're really good at attraction marketing, and they attract other leaders. You don't need to do that with SFM, okay? Because we have a completely different business model with high ticket in place. You generate an app, somebody goes elite, and depending on your positioning, you just get paid thousands per sale. And it's what we call GPT, get paid today. So with traditional network marketing, you earn a very small amount of money off of a huge team. You know, the time to build that team, the effort to build that leadership profile, the effort involved with being on the phone, three-way calls, it's phenomenally different to Lee and Tammy generating apps every day and getting 50 grand a month. It's a completely different model. So I just believe that the leverage of our system and our business model is 10x, 100x of almost anything else out there. Let's take ClickBank as an example. You sign up at ClickBank, you get 50 to 80% commissions per sale, but there's no products on there above $500. And rarely do you get any back-end money. The way that most affiliate marketing works is that you, as an affiliate, go out there, generate hard work, work really hard, generate loads of leads, sell a product, get paid. But guess what? The back end is 100% kept by the guru. It's 100% kept by Tony Robbins. You know, you go and promote a Tony Robbins ebook, or they do an affiliate promotion. Guess what? You only get paid on that. You don't get paid on the 50 grand business coaching sessions that they do in Business Mastery. You don't see a penny of it. Our business model, you do. You know, at 40% level, we're not profitable. Okay, and this is genuinely the truth. When we pay out 40% on the back end, we are not profitable. By the time we pay sales staff, by the time we pay for the events, in some instances at Gold, the previous model, we would lose money. We've made a few alterations on that, but why are we prepared to do that? Well, the reason that we're prepared to do that is because we know from experience that people that get all in, people that come in at Golds, Elites, Golds, Platinums, Blacks, and they come in at that 40% level, we know they're committed just from the very action of spending that money. Yep. The result of them spending that money and that action is, guess what? They go and sell boatloads of our products over the next decade. So we can afford to give away all the money to people like that. There's a lot of thought behind the business model that we have. You know, it's not just something that we've just thrown together. You know, we've had to be very meticulous, I suppose, with the comp plan. We've learned a few things along the way. We're moving into 2014 in such a strong position. Got more marketing collateral, a lot of what you haven't seen. We've got a better idea of our customer avatar. The thing that I'm most excited about for 2014 is that we've looked at all of our audience, all of our people in our community, and we've really become very clear on who we want in our community, the type of people we want in our community. And guess what? I believe in 2014 we'll get 5% of people in our company that ideally we wouldn't have. Such a small number of people. And that's because we're getting better at creating marketing collateral to attraction marketing, those types of people. But also, spending time doing things like we're doing now, I'm able to help cultivate our affiliates to market a certain way that is also going to attract more of those ideal types of customers. So there's just so much leverage in so many ways, from the systems, the tools, the marketing collateral. But unless you're in my position, it's probably slightly harder to explain that. Than, you know, so the point of what I'm saying is there's so many leveraged elements about what we do.
Cool. No, that I think that pretty much cleared it up. Because I just use you and Jay and all the time. I mean, because when you were talking earlier on about blogging, I struggle to write a blog. So a lot of the times I'll just go and find a video of you and Jay, especially a new one, and I'll just write a few paragraphs and whack you guys up on the blog and let you do it for me, because that's pretty much what you're saying, isn't it? I don't really have to do anything except get myself out there, and once somebody comes in with the app, you guys do the rest, don't you? I don't have to sell any more after that.
Your most important job is don't think of your list as a numbers game. You know, think of everybody that enters their email address is a person, a real person, regardless of how much you're spending. And this isn't me saying, Sandra, you do this, you're not doing this. This is me saying, like, you know, this is for everyone. So you've got to think about, like, those 10 leads a day are 10 people a day. So your job is, how am I going to get my message out there, my marketing, my blog posts? What videos am I going to choose? What way am I going to lead them in? You know, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you this. So I do something on Facebook ads that nobody else does, and my cost per lead is so expensive. But I don't care, and I'll tell you why. So the amount of time, I very, very frequently drive ads. You won't see them in Australia because I tend to just target the UK specifically, particularly when we're testing stuff out. But I'll tell you what, I might turn some of my campaigns on in Australia just so you guys can see some of them popping up. But the point is that most of the marketing I do now is to make sure stuff converts, to make sure stuff is working, that we're getting the right type of quality applications before we release it. I don't really do it because I want to be marketing daily, because frankly I'd rather be spending my time inside the company at the moment, you know, with our vision. But one of the things that I do is that I'll often have people click an ad and then go straight to a video, a long video, and then below that video is a link that then goes to a squeeze page. Now I know that that's going to crucify my conversion rates, but I also know that people that actually watch that video and resonate with it, I know that they're opting in because they're like, this is awesome, or I know they're opting in. Maybe they go and see a testimonial. You know, maybe they come through and they see a little footage, a bit of footage from some seminars, or particular thing that I'm saying that I think is going to resonate with that marketplace, or I shoot a dedicated video for that kind of campaign. And then I might only get 10% opt-in rate, but I know everybody that's opting in is like super high quality for the type of people that I'm looking for. And I give that as an example because that's really what your job is as a professional marketer. Is it's anybody can go out and buy traffic. Anybody can create a high-converting, scammy, over-the-top, hyped-up BS squeeze page promising the world, free this, free that. I've banned the word free from all of our new marketing material because I've never liked it. I just said, I took hold of the situation a couple of months ago. I said, do you know what? I'm calling the shots on this, and I don't want anybody using the word free anymore. We'll use complimentary at worst. You know, because free just attracts like freebies. You know, it just attracts like.
It's the wrong type of customer.
You know, I mean, obviously it works. I mean, we've converted customers over the years, but the point of what I'm making is that you know, a lot of people will disagree, and I'm sure there'll be community members that will disagree. And the only thing the only thing I'll say is they'll have to go and build their own free gift landing pages. And you know, I've tested stuff on my blog specifically recently because I want, before I make a decision, I don't just go on a whim. I do test things out, and I've seen that, you know, most of the opt-ins that come in from anything free, this, free, that, the bigger promises tend to not convert anyway. But this isn't stuff that I've been trained in. This is just my opinion. This is my gut instinct. And that's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that, like, as marketers, go with your gut instinct. Like, because the type of people you attract will have the same feelings that you have, the same thoughts that you have. Like, if you think something isn't great in the sales funnel, don't use it. You know, if you think a particular, you know, a particular boot camp video isn't really that appealing, change it, rewrite the email. Create your own, or, you know, find another video that we've shot in the past and replace it. The point is like I was saying, I'll go back to what I was saying, like, it's so important that you're excited to market what you're marketing and not just doing it thinking it's going to make you money. And it's never going to come out of the box perfect, because as a company, we're creating generic sales funnels. We can't create a specific funnel for you, a specific funnel for you, a specific funnel for you. So we've got to create it with an all-round generalized approach. So that's your job as a marketer, to then go out there and put your own spin on things, even if it's just the ad copy, you know. I mean, so the page that I'm advertising at the moment, as an example, it's one that I built in Simple Lead Capture in 3 minutes. Okay, so it basically says on it, hang on, let me see if I
can you share it on screen?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Can you see the screen?
Yep.
Yep, I can see it. Yep.
Okay, so a few things I'll just point out. So basically it says escape the rat race, live anywhere and join the new rich. So that heading is very congruent with why I do what I do. The whole reason I'm here today is because I was desperate to get out of the rat race. One of my favorite things about the business is that I can live or be anywhere that I want in the world. Just having that choice is just like mind-blowing to me. And then it says exclusive presentation reveals how a burnt-out 26-year-old man uncovered a new way of earning more, working less, and living a balanced, flexible lifestyle. So again, there's no like specific income claims, high income claims, anything like that. You'll notice that I say complimentary videos. I don't say free. This took like 2 minutes to build in Simple Lead Capture, literally. So it's a background that I think looked amazing, and it's immediately for me the market that I'm targeting. This is targeting people that like Success Magazine, and between 28 years old and 55 years old, or 58 years old actually, 58 years old. It's targeting 40,000 people. I can tell you already it's only getting, last time I looked, maybe 12 to 15% conversion rate, which is a lot lower than other pages. But this is the video that I'll put, because I've only just started doing this one. I've only finished this video recently. But I'll put this video into your DownUnder Mastermind group. But this video here is like 15 minutes long, including testimonials. Now, some people will obviously enter their email before it finishes, but at the same time, I know that people that watch it through, the type of people that I want will be compelled by this video. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that even with our generic sales funnels that we have, I still personally, even when I'm testing marketing, never use a generic page myself. Typically, I'll always put in the time to go and build something custom, and then I might split test it against one of the generic ones. And what I'll often find is the generic ones do have a higher conversion rate. You know, the Entrepreneurs Unleashed on one of my campaigns was converting at 35%. but that doesn't mean it's going to get the result that I'm looking for, which is to get application sales. You know, because that's the thing that you're really monitoring. That's the thing that you're really looking for, and that's kind of your job. I'll try and. Can you still see my screen? Yeah, probably can.
Yeah.
I'll try and get myself back.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, there's some points there that might seem fairly obvious, but it's something that you may or may not be doing at the moment. Simple lead capture literally does take 5 minutes to create a custom page that is completely relevant to the audience that you're targeting. Even if you're writing a blog post on a specific point, arguably I would say that you should still be building a custom page that is completely congruent and relevant to that post. And it might be an extra 10 minutes to do it, but the conversions will be so much higher because it's congruency. If you're talking about gaining time, then that's what your page should talk about, not Entrepreneurs Unleashed. If you're talking about being a home-based business mum, that's what your page should be. And if you've got a video, that's what the video should be about.
So that's where simple lead capture came from, to make it easier for us. That's just cleared up a heap for me. I don't know about anybody else, but
yeah, it's to give you that ability to just to be more congruent in your marketing. Now, Lee and Tammy, you know, it ceases to amaze me. I mean, they do none of this, none of what I'm talking about, but at the same time, they spend 10 grand a month on advertising. And when you're spending 10 grand a month on advertising, you throw enough mud at the wall, you know, shit sticks. So it's a different approach. But how many of you have got 10 grand a month to throw at your advertising? Probably not many. So, you know, when you don't have a 10 grand a month budget, you can't just replicate what someone else is doing because it's a completely different circumstance. John Davey the same, Sandra. He's never done really anything too customized. He's done a few things, but nothing, only on lead capture pages. He's done nothing else. You know, your sponsor, nothing else. So I'm not saying you have to do all of this. What I'm saying is, though, if you've got $200 a month, I'd probably say spend it on an outsourcer and systemize, you know, your content. If you've got no budget at all, even more important, you know, when you're writing your own blog posts, make sure that, or you're updating your Facebook status, make sure that when people click the image or the banner, that it's completely congruent with the message that you're putting out there.
Yeah, that's what I think too, and that's what I've been saying to a lot of members who have been coming to me and they're struggling to get their Facebook ads approved, and I've been saying to them it's probably because things aren't congruent, so go back through and have a look at the process that you've started with. And generally there usually is something out of whack within their marketing campaign. You know, they'll have an ad, but their lead capture page will be completely off. Off what the ad is.
Yeah, so the ad, like, so as an example, the ad that I'm running on that, let me find it. The ad that people are clicking to go to that page that I just showed you.
Yep.
Kind of remember myself. But it says, fucking, here we go. So the ad that I'm running says how a 26-year-old burnt out estate agent quit his 70-hour-a-week job and finally got balance. And then the title of the ad, the blue title, is burnt out and miserable. You know, so it's straight away that type of ad is very different to make money online. You know, it's not. And then they go through to that page completely congruent with what I just read you. You know, how a 26-year-old burnt out, you know, estate agent or whatever. So you can create custom pages that are reflective of that in terms of like talking about us, Jay, myself, the company, but you can also create your own. So for example, you know, how a 37-year-old work-from-home mum finally discovered a new education that enabled her to create a career from home or something, you know, and then they can opt in, and then there could be like a 3-minute video, you know, hey, this is Claire. Just wanted to shoot you this quick video. I'm about to redirect you, or you'll see a link below, which is going to redirect you to a video interview with, because the new bootcamp's got me, Jay, Elon and Guy is video one. It's like an interview footage video. I want to introduce you to 4 guys who have been really inspiring for me and really helped me get my flame back. You know, for 2 years I was really worried that I'd have to be stuck in my career of HR for, you know, another 20 years because I went to university, I trained for it, and I really didn't want to retrain in going back to university. And until I found these guys, you know, I had no hope. And now I want to introduce you to them, because if, like me, you're female and, you know, you're ambitious and you want to provide the best life for your family, I think you'll be really interested in what these guys have to say. Bang! It's like a 3-minute video, but again, now what we're talking about is not only congruency, we're talking about a woman resonating to another woman based on her targeting. Way more than what we would relate to her, millionaires in England, and it's like all of a sudden that perspective of watching that video is completely different to just landing on it. Like, who are these 4 guys who are maybe 10 years younger than me, you know, in a different country to me, Yankee accents, London accents. Like, I mean, they're completely judging us on those first few minutes, but it's a very different experience if they come through in a more, you know, relatable way. And that's how you get your applications, you know, from 2% to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% conversion, and they're all express and VIP rather than free, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the free application go away. I don't like the word free either, just quietly. And I've been telling everyone in the group not to use the word free. I'm like, it's complimentary. Don't use free. Free's tacky.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jay's fairly similar. We had an agency who we spent over 6 figures with on some stuff, and they did some alright stuff because they helped us with the DEA branding, which they've done a phenomenal job with. But there was just areas that were just typical IM, and frankly, like, you know, I harp on about it, and it's something that we needed to take control of again. And sometimes you can't outsource anything like that, and you have to do it your own way. And that's what we've got. Time is the thing that I'm excited about, to take it back in house and actually spend the time doing what we want to do in our own gut instinct, rather than having ad agencies or marketing agencies having their approach on it. I mean, like I say, we're not going to suddenly change it to complementary and suddenly the business is going to grow tenfold of what it is now. It's these subtle things, though, that accumulate, they compound, and obviously make it better and better and better and better. Conversion rates on application will never be more than probably 5% ever, no matter how good we get it, company-wide, because I know from experience that that's the way it works. That's just what a front-end offer does. And if anything, the approach that we take as a company is, we know that our affiliates can profit. If an affiliate is an elite level, we know even if they're spending $1 a lead, that they can still profit at 1.5% conversion rate on applications. Like, our business model, we've nailed it. I mean, there are so few affiliate programs that could ever claim that, and we won't claim that, we won't discuss that. I can just tell you that from an internal perspective. People that are based below elite couldn't spend $1 a lead. You know, they'd have to do the free advertising. And one of the reasons that gold is the level where we get really tactical is genuinely because, and this I hope people appreciate the ethicalness of what we're like in this company. So we could easily teach people YouTube paid advertising and Facebook paid advertising at a high level and say, go out and do it. But we know the cost of traffic, and to be able to truly build a net profit $10,000 a month business, we believe that people need to be positioned at gold. And that's why we're not teaching at elite and below. And the reason that they can be positioned at gold is because when you're at gold, knowing the conversion rates, you get those, you get your $2,000 commissions plus your elite commissions. And without getting too advanced, you can make a really profitable business at that gold level. You could absolutely be in profit at elite, spending $2, $3, $4 a lead, if you're congruent and you're doing some good things on the front end. But for the majority of people, to justify spending $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 a lead, you really need to be at the gold level and above, because that's how you're going to see not only your money back, but more importantly, really healthy profits. So the way that we're introducing gold to our people coming into the system is that, like, look, if you're really serious about doing paid advertising, if you're really serious about learning this stuff, not only do you need to get the education at the gold level, you need the commissions at that level anyway to really justify spending that type of money on your advertising. Anyone positioned at elite, and I'll tell you all now, anyone positioned at elite or below, I would honestly recommend not spending more than $1.50 per lead. $1 to $1.50 per lead, and that way you'll be able to turn a profit. But it's going to be a real challenge, because the difference between being at gold and elite is an extra $2,000 per gold sale, obviously. That could be 3 of those a month, which could be an extra 6,000 revenue that you wouldn't get otherwise, and that's why you shouldn't really be spending too much money on your per lead cost, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense to me. I totally understand that. And I think Robbie really understands that too, and that's why Robbie and I came together, and Robbie came to me with an idea about what he had for the group, to move the group forward, because we have a lot of members from basic through to black members in the Down Under group, and a lot of them seem to be struggling. They all had questions about how much they should be spending per lead and all that sort of stuff, and they were all confused, and some of them were floundering like fish out of the water, saying, I can't afford to advertise, how do I do this, how do I get traffic? So Robbie came up with the idea of pulling the group together, and he set up the DownUnderMarketing.com website, because he thought, with all of us coming together on the one website and all blogging on the one website, we would actually create a lot more notice with Google, because we have a lot more activity happening on the website. And I said to Robbie, well, we should hook it up with our Facebook page as well, and our group, and have the G Plus happening as well. And that's pretty much been what Robbie and I have been working on so hard for a lot of our members, is keeping them all together in a group, in a community, to make it a little bit easier for the members who don't have a lot of money to market and advertise. So we're trying to encourage them to get their blogs onto the website and interact on our fan page and interact on the G Plus page, because that will actually raise attention to them in the Google searches, because all activity on any site will actually raise you up in the Google searches. Because I tried to show them on one of the Hangouts how, because I remember you and Jay, especially you said in one of the videos I watched one time, to own your name on the internet. Go out there and own your name. I couldn't actually own my name as a .com, because 3 other doctors owned it before me, and they actually owned the first page of Google. But I did everything you said with the free things. I blogged, I connected with people, I joined forums, I had conversations. Well, now I own my name on Google. If somebody types in my name, I come up on the first page, and I come up right up on the top of the page. And I did that just with free. It was hard work on my own, but I did it. So
very
that's
powerful as well. Very, very powerful to get to that position, because at the end of the day, it's instant authority.
Yeah, so that's what Robbie and I are trying to do with the Down Under group. We're trying to make it a little bit easier for the members to have authority, especially when they're just starting out and they're floundering around a little bit. But it's hard to explain to them and get them to understand that they need to interact with each other, because the way Robbie and I have put it is like, well, visit each other's blogs, comment on each other's blogs, share each other's blogs and comments, and interact as a group and a community. And in the end, it will actually help you all. But I don't know if you're actually getting the message across.
It's going to be, I can tell you now from experience, it is going to be difficult, because it's not to say it won't work, but don't have the expectation for everyone to be involved, and have the expectation it's there for people who choose to be involved. And the reason being is that a lot of people will come into this with the view of, I want to get 10 leads a day, and they want to have that control. Like, it's that control of, I want to generate those 10 leads myself. So the people that will be most right for are absolutely people that have probably the time to actually commit to being a part of what you're doing. If people would be better off being honest and saying, I don't really have time for that, or I don't really want to do that. They might just not want to, than hoping that everybody will. Because I tell you now, 10 committed contributors are worth more than 100, people fanning around.
Yep.
So it's get it off the ground, get it going. But my experience has always shown me that most people will tend to look for areas in their business where they have that level of control, where it's like, I put in this amount of effort, I get those 10 leads, or do you see what I'm saying? So what you're doing there it's almost like more of a bonus to the business than it is a specific tactic that people can go into thinking, I can do this, sign up and get 10 leads a day from being a part of this group. And it's something that I would say, it's something that will take quite a lot of effort and time to get really rewarding results, but when you do, it will be rewarding, and that's why you've also got to be a little bit protective from a point of view of you should only want people to contribute that are willing to be in it for the long haul. Because otherwise there's no point in just letting people reap the rewards of your efforts in a year's time if you're ranked all over Australia's Google,
Yeah.
Good point.
It's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing, and I've seen it. Jem Tang created a community site which still to this day generates application sales, and he had an absolute vision for getting some keywords ranked, particularly here in the UK. And those websites still generate apps all the time. So it's a two-way thing, is what I'm saying. Don't definitely don't assume. It's like our community site. We would love everybody to put in the same amount of effort, energy, and time, but it's never going to happen. If you look, Mark Ford is a really great example of someone who spent no money. Mark, like I said, had $28,000 in commissions last month blogging. The only thing that Mark does different to other people is a few things, actually. One is he's consistent and committed. He always blogs, he's always committed, he's always consistent. And the other thing that he does is he absolutely takes time with people. And that's what it takes with when you're doing things free. Because if you think about it, if an application converts at 3%, and you're not generating more than a few leads a day, very, very difficult to get conversions on those small numbers. So to get conversions, you need to put in that extra effort, particularly at the start. And that might mean doing a Google Hangout with your list. It might mean emailing out your phone number. It might mean getting people on Skype and being available. And that's what Mark Ford does. And Mark's now reinvesting like 5,000 of that 28 straight back into paid advertising. And now he's starting to get that momentum going, where he'll have a completely different animal next year. I've seen it time and time again. But the only people that ever make it in this business with free advertising are completely committed. You can't just be like, I'll do a bit of blogging today, maybe not tomorrow. Or you've got to be like ruthlessly committed. And I'm not a good expert on that area because I've never done a lot of free advertising. People like Mark Ford, who's doing 3-part webinar training with SFM community, is much more of an authority on that region. Because the reason I've never done free advertising is because I don't like sitting in front of a computer for long periods of time, is the truth. And for me, it's like I can buy a banner and sit on my arse and it's going to generate leads. Or I can, set up a Facebook campaign and go out and walk the dog and spend time doing other things, shooting videos or whatever. I'm just not someone for spending a lot of time on the computer in general. I check my emails once every 2 days. I rarely get a chance to go through my Facebook because you can probably imagine it's bombarded with information these days. But I've always been like that. So for me, I had to be more aggressive with paid advertising because I'm not networking. I'm not, I remember my first franchise business turning up. In the UK, we have something called BMI, and it's like these local networking events. And I'm a terrible networker. I'm terrible because, like, unless I know people, and I've got a relationship with them, I'm like I said, I am very introvert, and it's not that I'm necessarily shy. I think I used to be more shy than I am now. It is more of a case of not wanting to speak to people. Like, I'm just not that. It sounds selfish, but I think anyone that really knows me would never say I am. But it sounds really selfish because I rarely will give time to just complete random people, and it's not because I don't want to do it. It's just because I've learned that I'm not a random people's person. I'm more of a community person, if that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Everyone's different though. You know, some people like, I've got my friend, one of my best friends is the most extrovert guy you will ever meet, complete opposite. And he goes into these networking and he's got the loudest voice and he's like high-fiving people and he's like hugging people and he's meeting new people and it's just natural and he gets energy from that. Whereas being around him in that situation drains my energy because I'm like, God, what are you like? You know, give it a break. So we're just, you know, from that, in that environment, we're very different. But when it's just us and we're hanging out, I have a great time because he is more loud and he is a bit more fun, and it's, you know, it's nice to be around different people. But yeah, you know, a lot of what I'm talking about is just, you know, building a business around your strengths and recognizing your weaknesses. And you know, if you don't want to be on the phone, I'll tell you now, you need to be really good at video marketing. Not so much with our business, but network marketing. You know, if you're build, I personally say, do not build a network marketing opportunity if you don't like being on the phone. That's just my belief. Like, if you like being on the phone and speaking to like-minded people and, you know, chatting and doing three-way calls, it's such a powerful business model. But there'd be no point in me building a network marketing opportunity because I hate being on the phone. I don't even like the look of the phone.
That's hilarious. But one of our members, I think I can answer this question though, but he asked if can $200 per month buy an outsourcer. Well, depending on what he wants to buy from outsourcing, he would just go through to Fiverr for that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it would depend on what specifics. Like, if you want an actual full-time outsourcer, I haven't had one because I've had internal. All of our team are internal now, in the States and the UK. But the cost of a Philippine outsourcer the going rate was $300 a month. And that's full time. So that's like every day doing your stuff. You know, every day. If you want to just outsource graphics or a website, yeah, Fiverr, elance.com, Scriptlance, any of those things is good for that.
Yep. Sweet. Does anyone else have any questions for Stuart?
One thing you can do on the outsourcing front is share. Like, you could like put a budget together, you know, between 2 or 3 of you. You know, it's like a full-time person. One of you might be better at shooting screen videos and doing the training. Another, you might be better at documenting processes, so like preparing the literature to go for the outsourcer. One of you might be better at, you know, something else. So you mix up the tasks to manage, you know, your first outsourcer. Sandra, one of the questions you asked me, which I didn't answer, was you said, Stuart, can you please describe who SFM's customer avatar is?
Yeah, I was passing that on from Marie Santos. She asked that.
Okay, so there's a few things like. I have a very different approach to dealing with this customer avatar philosophy to expert university style marketers. So, you know, your typical marketing course will be, you need to be clear on your avatar. Who are they? What age are they? You know, you almost create a name. His name's John. He's got grey hair. He likes scuba diving. He travels around the world, and you know, he's married with 2 kids, and it's like super specific. And this is like really common marketing training. I think that's a terrible idea, because just look at the diversity of our community as it is: young, old, male, female, all over the world. So your customer avatar, you've got to build it based on the solution that you believe you provide. So what is the problem your avatar has? Let's take people on this call: Sandra, Astra, Robbie. So 3 individuals, different ages, Robbie's a different sex. Different lifestyles, probably different motives, different drives, different skills. 3 very, very different people, yet I'm sure you equally respect each other and enjoy working together, as an example. Now, what you've got to get really good at as a marketer is identify as a community, speak with one another, and really get good at understanding what's the problem that people have right now that they want to have SFM provide the solution for. Is it time? Is it freedom? Is it money? Get really aware of what people's problems are, so then when you're marketing and you're shooting a video, you're marketing a solution and you're marketing a result. You never ever market on the front end the tactics. You never market the features. Oh, you should join SFM because there's 17 hours of video. That's not how to market. People will think, I don't want to watch 17 hours of video. You should join SFM because Stuart and Jay speak for 3 hours to 4 hours a webinar. That's not what people are looking for. So you've got to think about the benefits of being a member of SFM, and that's what you've got to market, and how those benefits provide a solution to your audience. So by sharing ideas and getting to know each other, you can really get to understand the driving factor behind why people are here and what solution they believe SFM provides. And then you go into your videos with a very, very clear, or your articles or your blogging with a very clear way of writing about the benefits and not the features. So, my name's Sandra, and I want to share a quick video with you where I'm going to talk about X problem, and this is a problem that I was dealing with for 3 years. And to be honest with you, I nearly gave up hope when one day, and you've got to be really specific in your details, when I was walking the dog and I tripped over some dog shit, and I knocked my head on the fence, and then suddenly it came to me. It came to me, no longer did I have this problem, because I'd watched a video by Stuart Ross that didn't really resonate with me at the time, but I needed that knock on the head to realize that suddenly all I needed to do was join or be a part of this community, because this solution would change my life because of X, Y, and Z. So you've got to be really focused on the way to sell. The way to sell is to sell the benefits through stories. So when you're writing articles, tell stories. When you're writing emails, tell stories. When you're shooting video, tell stories. But within those stories, you've got to give a very clear benefit of what it is that you're promoting. So if you're shooting a video about your aloe vera, like share stories of customers or your problems. I was suffering with, I don't know, I didn't really have a great understanding of what aloe vera does. I just know that it's good for sunburn. So, you could say, so you tell a story about how, living in the outback and the desert, you're burning up and like having all of these skin irritations, and one day you got fed up, so you went online and you did some research and you found out about aloe vera, and you got your first product sample sent across, and one day sat in the garden next to the cactus with your cup of Earl Grey tea, you're rubbing in the aloe vera cream, not knowing whether it was going to do anything for me. I remember just this hope that the dry, itchy, irritated skin and the eczema would improve, but not knowing whether it would. And then, like 3 days later, I woke up and it was gone. And it was like, wow, I can't believe I found the solution to this problem that I've been dealing with for 5 years. And that, my friends, is aloe vera. If you want to find out more about it, click the link below. So, you've got to like build that rapport, those relationships with your avatar, and not focus on like the ingredients, not focus on the features of any product. You've got to focus on the end result, the benefits, and incorporate stories within everything that you do. Cool. Writing, blogs, emails. The best email marketers tell stories. And it's an ongoing story. It's a never-ending story. You know, it's like, oh, Sandra's emailed me, and it's like something completely random, like a complete random story. And,
Well,
that's what you've got to remember as well is most people go on the internet outside of work to be entertained. They do not go on the internet to necessarily buy stuff. I know people do, but a lot of people now, especially when it comes to video, especially when it comes to marketing material, the ones that will get the most results are the ones that are absolutely informative, but at the same time have a level of entertainment as well. And email marketing is something that if I enjoyed writing, I would absolutely know what to do, but I don't. And it's something that when I was doing a lot of my broadcasting and relationship building in my own marketing, that was something that I really had to create a good habit in. Like, because it would take me an hour to write a short broadcast email because I wanted to make sure I got it right. But definitely get into that habit of creating a story of everything that you're doing. And the other thing with email marketing is try and leave some suspense in some of your emails as well. So like you could start telling a story and say, look, to be honest with you, I've got to go. My itchy, irritated skin is killing me right now. I need to go and put in some aloe vera. So I'll finish the story tomorrow. You know, and then people will like be, no, I want to know what happened. You know,
keep it entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Informative but entertaining.
Yeah.
Because people don't like to get sold to, do they?
No, people love to buy. People love to buy. They don't like to be sold to.
That's it. Yeah. They prefer to discover the sale themselves.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But I mean, my stories would always be like, I would tell stories of like frustration. Like, you know, I have so many frustrated memories when I was an estate agent. Like every day I was frustrated. Like the whole business model, no sale, no fee. I'd deal with clients for like 6 weeks and then they would just pull out and not sell their house. And in the UK, it's no sale, no fee. So you could work on a deal for 6 weeks and then not get paid. And like, I can't tell you how annoying that is when you put everything into a deal and then it's just like, no, and then the owner will ring you up like it's no big deal. Hi, Stuart, Sandra. John and I are getting on a lot better now. We're not going to get divorced, so we're taking the house off the market. And I'll be like, I've just spent 6 weeks trying to, you know, like close this deal. Can you just get divorced, please? You know, and you know, it'd just be so frustrating. Our business model, you don't have that. You know, like you've got tools and technology doing the sorting and sifting. So that's a story. You know, it's like comparing that old way of doing things of no sale, no fee to this new way of, you know, not even having to like speak to many people, and still, you know, earn your money when you make the sale, get the commissions, you know, a couple of weeks after you make the sale. I used to have to wait in my job, not only for so I could start the job on this, I could agree the sale on the 1st of October, bearing in mind that there was probably a few weeks before that marketing, showing, viewings. I could then spend 8 weeks negotiating clauses, fixtures, fittings, buyers wanting to go back round and view the house that they're buying, and then somebody just pulls out, like on the day before they're exchanging contracts. You know, so I used to target a lot of real estate agents on Facebook, you know, because I knew they'd relate to me, and they're the sort of stories that I'd tell. Anything else?
Anyone? You're all good? You're willing to let Stuart go now?
I'm very willing as well to do these with you every few months. So you know, you as a community, as a group, you've really demonstrated your loyalty to our company. I know you're a long way away from London, and it's really a shame that you guys can't experience like the Momentum Days. Or even the event so far. The good news is that Australia absolutely is on the agenda. We, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you something, but we were actually going to come out before Christmas, but we weren't going to say anything. That's now changed. So it's looking like it's going to be just after Christmas in the new year for a Momentum Day.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
looking forward to it. Really, really looking forward to it, because it's very different as well. Like, I can't tell you how good the events were that we just had. Like, not to rub it in, but I was on the speaking circuit for internet marketing for 18 months, nearly 2 years, and I was almost put off events for life because the misleading stuff, the false gurus, the stuff that I saw behind the scenes on the sales, the lack of integrity in the industry, the type of people in the audience, just absolute misfits with absolutely no good intentions whatsoever other than trying to get rich quick. And it nearly put me off for life. And I'm telling you, like, having spoken at all sorts of events and been running our own events for a long time, the community is in a very, very unique position right now, and actually we have to protect that, and think of it like that from your marketing perspective. Like, you want to make sure that you're only attracting people into the Down Under group that deserve to be in the Down Under group, that warrant the support, the interaction. And trust me, there's boatloads of people out there that deserve it, but there's also boatloads of people that don't. So don't go out there and sell everyone. Be really clear on your intentions. Be proud of selling expensive products. Be proud of not being cheap. Be proud of it. Be proud of not being the biggest community on the internet. These are all things to shout out about, and don't worry about shouting out about it. It's like, these are things that people will either resonate with or won't resonate with. It's like the whole philosophy of people want it easy and simple, and that's not true. The type of people you want to be surrounded by are people that do whatever it takes to build their dream. And they don't want it easy because they know that anything easy is probably not going to be that fulfilling. Just be really proud of your journey, even if you have been struggling, even if it hasn't been as easy as you thought. Do not ever let that worry you. It's the persistence and it's the committed individuals that always come out on top. Mark Ford didn't make any money for a year, maybe more, and he's now having $25,000, $30,000 months. And he came from like zero to like suddenly had a $5,000 month, then he had his $12,000 month, now $28,000 month, and it's purely down to him learning to be committed, persistent, and authentic. Mark is one of the most authentic, real people that you could ever meet, and that attracts other real, authentic people to him. And to us, that's so valuable because he's bringing in some just amazing people into our community. So, guys, thank you very much for having me out.
Thanks,
I
Stuart.
will post these videos that I've mentioned to your community, to the Down Under group. Please don't share anything SFM-wise yet. Just get an idea of a couple of the videos that we're putting out there. Yeah, let's all keep in touch, keep going, keep supporting one another. Very much appreciate all of you. For us, Jay and I are long gone about building just a business for making money. For us, it's all about the people that we spend time with, having customers that we want to be with. Like my Facebook status the other day, no compromise. Like, we will not compromise on the quality of and caliber of people in this community. We are very proud of the Down Under group because you guys are by far doing the best job in terms of being a community. So we very much appreciate that because it helps serve our vision and gives us more belief in what we're doing and what can be done. So yeah, thank you very much, and I look forward to hopefully catching up with you all very, very soon.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thanks, Stuart. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for setting this up, Robbie, as well.
No worries.
Thanks, Robbie.
Even if you did leave everyone panicking because you just
Missing in action, we were quite worried about him.
yeah,
Oh,
out in the mountains.
time for myself. Yeah, 3 days of tramping.
Oh, fair enough.
Got sore feet and sore legs now, but yeah, it's cool.